what up, world on a Wednesday, hump day. What's going on with you, Coop? How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I was really taking in a whole lot of different interviews that Pusha T's done today. Well, not done today, but I was taking in some of the interviews that he's done over the past week, and very
Okay.
interesting how so many different people take such different approaches when it comes to interviewing styles and some of the things that he had to say. We're gonna get to all of those things. Hopefully,
Mhm.
everybody's getting their notifications, man.
Yes.
Let us know when you get in the room, man. How you been today, brother?
I've been doing pretty good, man. I actually told myself that I was going to, I told you I'm outside this year. And
Mm-hmm.
so I have a whole bunch of sidebar notes that I'm just going to start taking. Like, I have a lot of thoughts during the week sometimes. And I usually just kind of like let them kind of slip through my fingers. But I've been kind of back more on my writing game lately. So I've been writing some of my arbitrary thoughts down, and I'm going to give those some. And I've been keeping it in context and relevancy to what's been going on. Like I had some Black Star comments, I got some Jay and Nas comments because of the list and stuff that we were doing. I have some Pharrell comments because of this whole Pusha T thing and
Yeah.
Daytona and all that. Yeah, so I have a few things to say, and I have some insightful stuff I think today. Like
Well,
yeah,
you
I'm
know
feeling
what?
pretty good.
First of all, not to interrupt you, man. I mean, welcome to everybody that's coming in the room. Everybody saying what's up. DeCarlo say he got the yearbook. Is dope. Appreciate that, man. We appreciate everybody who's been out there getting the yearbook. And for those who haven't gotten it yet, I'm gonna go ahead and put the link in the chat. We'll pin it up to the top, and then we'll put it in the description. But if you need to find it right now, you can go to the community section, and the link should be there. Just scroll a little bit; it'll be there. Um, Mike 100 says, Mike, rap round table throwing shots at you. You know what? I'm glad y'all mentioned that because I talked to Jarv today from Rap Roundtable, and he's gonna come on for a segment Friday, and yeah, we're gonna chop it up because I know that they be saying some things, we be saying some things, and I think it'd be great to get everybody in one sitting. So we're gonna do that Friday. He gonna chop it up with us. I'm sure we're gonna debate some things, and you know what? To spice it up even more, what Coop and I are gonna do today, we're gonna do a countdown of the top five wackest Jay Z songs. And just so we balance it out, we'll do a top five wackest Nas records too. So Coop picked five whack Nas records. I picked five whack Nas records, and Coop picked five whack Jay Z records, and I picked five whack Jay Z records. It should be interesting. So I don't even want to call it whack. We'll just call them some misses. Cause you know what I noticed, like going through the list or going through their catalog, the reason why Nas songs were whack were different than the reason why Jay songs were whack. You know what I
Totally,
mean?
totally different.
Um,
It's fascinating, isn't it? Even when you
it
listen to
is.
like how the whack songs compare, the reasons that the songs are whack are totally different.
Nas did better by taking chance. I mean, when he took chances, they were intellectual chances as opposed to Jay taking chances trying to jump on bandwagon chances. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, Mike, you don't get style points for taking intellectual chances when the shit don't land. You know what I mean?
Let me
That's
let
like
you know what I mean. Like, all right, so a song like Blunt Ashes, I didn't really
that
love the
almost
record.
made my list of
It
that
almost
almost
made
made
my
my list.
list too.
Oh, Mike,
But
that's in
the
that 10. That's in that bottom 10.
but the perspective of the song kept it
Right,
off my list. That's what I'm
right.
saying.
Mike, but that's only because he has whacker songs that lack that perspective. You don't get credit for that. You don't get credit for that. What's that Chris
Okay.
Rock comment? Like when niggas be talking about raising their kids, or what you're doing, like what you're supposed to do. He's Nas. What did he say on One Time for Your Mind? Represent the thinker.
Well, I
So
you
he'll get
know,
credit for doing intellectual stuff and it being whack.
not to jump too far into the show, but I can let you guys know that nothing from Illmatic made the list. Um,
Thanks for the spoiler alert, Mike.
Yo, you know what's crazy? I know we were talking about our rating system, and we're gonna get to the rating system too, but we rated Jay Z a 9 when it comes to live performances, and lo and behold, Jay Z's performance from Summer Jam 2001, it pops up out of nowhere 21 years later. So yeah, anybody out there on YouTube in the YouTube universe, you can go check out Jay-Z's full Summer Jam set from 2001. And for the people who don't know, that is the set where he debuted the Takeover. He put Prodigy on that Summer Jam screen. Michael Jackson came out too. I watched that performance. That was a great performance.
It was.
Great performance. I've never seen that performance. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I wasn't up at Summer Jam, and all you seen was like clips and images of it. I have no idea who had this footage and how they've been sitting on it for 21 years, but makes me feel like, listen, me and my guy Brandon say this thing, man. Anything that comes out in regards to Jay-Z and Beyonce, they want it out there.
No.
Just to, that's conspiracy theory.
We believe that when you talk, that they have enough money and influence and power to control their own narratives. You don't think that.
You know what? Rest in peace to Prince, man. I remember when Prince was alive, you couldn't find anything of Prince on YouTube. Nothing. And as soon as this man leaves the earth, everything sprouts up. And I was sitting there thinking like, wow, he kept this shit off the internet himself. A whole new level of respect in that regard, even outside of the musician alone. You know what I'm saying? That's phenomenal. But Jay-Z does similar things. And for this Summer Jam performance to be out there, he's behind it.
First of all, I don't ever want to hear you mention Prince and Jay-Z in the same sentence. And as far as the Prince thing is concerned, I don't want to talk about it. And I've already seen The Real Sign of the Times. I've seen it a long, long time.
Did you see that the Summer Jam performance? Were you familiar with it? Was it the first time you saw it as well?
Super acquainted. The first time seeing it from beginning to end in one session, but not much that I missed. So it's a big moment in the history of hip hop.
His sequencing was dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's one of the things that really propelled him as well. I mean, he was a much improved performer because I remember watching the Hard Knock Life. I didn't go to the actual tour. I know Ron went. My guy Ron went when we were kids, but from what I was seeing, he was a much improved performer from the Hard Knock Life tour to that Summer Jam, which was in 2001. The clarity, the inflection, the energy, but the sequencing of that show is what really stood out to me. He had the records, and he knew where to place the records. I didn't really love him using Next Episode twice, and all that stuff, but, it was hot at the time.
It was relevant and relative to a degree. A little bit of abuse, though. A little bit of abuse. But that was around the time he had established the Dre relationship, too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it just doesn't still DRE. I think that the way that he did the Takeover and debuted the Takeover and using the crowd and the Summer Jam screen where he stopped and looked at the screen and kind of had them turn down the beat for his verse about Prodigy and ended it with the Nas. Because that's the only thing I ever seen, actually, from that show, was that part where he was like, ask Nas, he don't want it with Hov. No. And to leave the crowd on that cliffhanger and go into You, Me, Her, and Him, that was dope.
Yeah.
That was dope.
Mike, that performance and the buzz around that performance and who he was at the time and the fact that he had the ability to bring Michael Jackson out. The fact that he could put the picture of Prodigy up in the ballet costume.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, just for revisionist history, a lot of people don't know. I believe Prodigy's aunt ran that academy, and he used to take classes there because he had to, and that's how that happened.
Everybody's done shit like that as a kid. How hard can you be as a kid? Shout out to Blue Collar Hustler. He said Hov is one question away from being Raps Thanos. Listen.
Yeah. No. He got ethered. He's a long way from like somebody. That's what I keep saying about this lack of perspective. Stop acting like the rings got blasted out of his hands like 20 years ago, guys. Like
But
let
he
that
kept
go.
them though, and if anything, he kept the illusion that he
Kept
was
the,
still on top.
kept the illusion
And
of the
that takes
allure
a
of
lot
it.
to do.
No, I've told you, and I've said this. I'm going to say this again. As far as like people at their zenith, at their height, in terms of the fanfare of it and the acknowledgement of who's number one, there's Rakim's run, and then there's his run in terms of how it's regarded by the people at the time.
And you could see it on that Summer Jam stage.
And this is Mike. Yep, this is the moment.
That's the
Actually,
moment.
like this is the moment. Yeah.
I came across one of our old episodes, where we were talking about what Jay said that Beyonce was the evolution of Michael Jackson. And I actually went back and listened to our full episode. Some pretty good dialogue there. We do a decent job here, but
that's good to hear.
And it's funny that Jay was bigging up that Coachella performance for Beyonce. This was his Coachella performance. I mean, if you want to single out a performance as their moment, this Summer Jam performance was that moment for him and the Rockefeller family as a whole, because it was introducing just that whole collective. I mean, we'd seen them with Bleak and Beans and all that, but they had like an army behind them.
Mike, this is his like name me king moment. This is what I'm saying. This is like if he at his zenith was as big as anybody has ever been, this was the zenith moment of the zenith time. And there are so many important things. That's why I said there's the Prodigy thing. There's the Michael Jackson thing. There's the Nas thing. I mean, I want people to understand this. People thought Nas's career was over just off of that. And then he came back with a verse on the takeover.
I did.
He came back with a verse that was even more vicious than...
And then the blueprint was the blueprint. You know what I'm saying? So what? Yeah.
Then the blueprint was his best piece of work since his first piece of work, and he had gotten exponentially bigger since his first piece of work. So, like, when I mean it was on 10, but that's why I tell people Ether is the greatest diss record of all time. If you're talking inherently, is it better than, like, No Vaseline or even The Bitch in You? Well, no. But look at what it did to the person and where that person was at. Because people act like Ether didn't come, like, I don't know, 5 months after this Summer Jam performance. Feel what I'm saying? Like for whatever the Zenith run was, it was like major blow to that run within 5 months of his biggest moment.
But the Stillmatic Freestyle was out there, and they were not playing it.
That's what I'm saying. The Stillmatic Freestyle is super dope. I think Stillmatic Freestyle even got Rhyme of the Month in the Source, if memory serves, Mike.
Stillmatic Freestyle was dope as hell.
But
Leroy Green says everything isn't always about Nas. That's true. But when we're talking about all of these moments, when we talk about all of these moments in context, right? Jay wanted to be the best. He always wanted to be the best. And that's one of the reasons why he's been able to achieve what he's been able to achieve. But with Big gone, and Nas was the only thing left to actually be king of New York in the eyes of everyone, Nas had to go. And so, in that respect, this was about Nas.
No, I mean...
Now, unfortunately, Prodigy caught the... Mobb Deep in general caught the bad end of this. And I don't think Mobb Deep was wrong in any facet. I think that their whole situation came about because Prodigy was defending New York against the West Coast when others didn't. And I think that when Jay said New York's been soft since Snoop came through and crushed the buildings, I mean, I could see someone feeling a way about that,
His his quotes in the Source was that don't speak on it now. When the war was on, you was quiet like a bitch, homie. I believe that's what Prodigy said. And although disrespectful in tone, not inaccurate, Mike. You get what I'm saying?
There was the lines on Reasonable Doubt. Too much West Coast dick looking and too many niggas in there, doing their best Jay-Z rendition and stuff like that.
No, Mike, when he's saying too much West Coast dick licking, isn't that more a shot at East Coast artists than the West Coast?
You take it that way? I guess I never really looked at it in that way.
I did take it that way.
Well, who were the people on the East Coast that were doing that?
Well, you see, you have to understand. Well, I mean, a lot of people, there are some people that were down with Pac on the East Coast still and had run-ins with Big, and who was Big's guy? Well, this is Jay. You feel what I'm saying? And so I always took it like that could have been shots at those guys.
Jarv says Mike D saw the episode. They in his Jarv. We're gonna do a top 5 wackest Jay-Z songs, and we're gonna do a top 5 wackest Nas songs. So stay tuned for that. But right now we're talking about the Summer Jam performance resurfacing. But yeah, I mean, do you think when it comes to the takeover, I mean, I guess it's clear, Prodigy was the biggest recipient of that record, or how do I say it? Had to deal with the drawback of that record the most. And now looking back at it, when I listened to that verse, it was a dope verse, but it wasn't a in your career verse. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna sell more records than Prodigy. And I know the crowd reaction when he said, "I sold what the whole album sold in my first week."
I mean, first of all, that wasn't true.
Well, I mean, it's a diss record. Everything's not true in diss records.
No, I get it. It wasn't true. The effect of it was large. I thought the best line that he had for Prodigy was like, "You little fuck, I got money stacks bigger than you." Like, I thought that was funny because I'm thinking, like, Jay's money is to the point that if you were to actually, this is how I look at things in battle too, Mike. It's like, well, how funny is it in hyperbole and in reality? It's like, in hyperbole, that's funny as hell. In reality, Jay's money was like that too.
Well, even the whole line of when I was pushing weight back in '88, you was a ballerina. I got the pictures, I sing you, and it was able to look at the screen. It's
right.
Because what that really is saying, that's sunning in that situation where it's like, look, dude, you ain't even, you my little dude. You ain't even got the ability to come up and talk to me.
Well,
I was grown while you were a kid.
So can we get into this? Okay, so you're right. So let's get into the Takeover, which is a great record, and it's an all-time great diss record. But
let me get to the super chat before you go there. I want to get the Blue Collar Hustle super chat. He says people forget that Nas dropped Ether on Hove's birthday. Irv Gotti said that they were at the club to celebrate, and every DJ was blasting Ether. Ogre. What were you about to say?
No, what I was about to say was that I think people, I forgot. I lost the thought.
No, you were talking about Takeover. You were breaking down Takeover.
Oh yeah, so the bar. I was breaking down the bars. The bars are not the bars against Prodigy are not as good as the bars against Nas because the bars against Nas, you can tell that he likes Nas and that he almost doesn't want to do it. It's almost like he's talking to Nas look at what you made me do. But with Prodigy, the real problem and what really happened to Mobb Deep was the lack of response and the weak response of it. Because when you're talking about him sonning Prodigy, in turn, they should have kind of flipped that around. Nigga, you 10 years older than us and we was on before you. They never played their cards in their hand the way that he did. They never looked at the leverage that they had. It's first of all, they were even younger than Nas and Big and got on around the same time as those guys did.
Well, Juvenile Hell celebrates its anniversary today, so yeah.
Well, there we go. I mean, Mike, how old is it?
Juvenile Hell, that was what, 94?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 28.
They was in the game. So, well, all right, this is the thing, and I agree with you. I never...
nigga, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of where they lost wasn't even in that Summer Jam thing. It was in the fact that they really didn't come back with anything. But I'm going to tell you what, Jay is a chess player because it's well... he knows Prodigy and Nas obviously have a relationship, even though sometimes that relationship has been tenuous, and relationship with Havoc too. This was a great setup moment. The ask Nas he don't want it with Hov, that was a bait moment to see if Nas still had it in him, because at that point in time, a lot of people were wondering if Nas had it in him. And that was the bait moment. And Nas did take the bait and drop the Stillmatic freestyle, which is what made Jay go in and add the fourth verse to the Takeover. See, he Nas was to the point, and a lot of people don't remember
this. Third verse,
right? Fourth verse. Well, I mean, it falls on the third verse, but the other three verses had been recorded. The two first verses against Mobb Deep and the last verse, y'all only get, that had been recorded.
It's 4 verses, right? So, all right, the third verse is the one about Nas.
Right, but what I'm saying is that was the last verse to get recorded. The other three verses were recorded.
So you're saying in the fourth verse as in when it was recorded. but the
was
actual
recorded.
third verse on the song. I just don't want to confuse the listeners.
Right. So people have to understand that the takeover really was like a moment where he was like, nah, I'm going to go ahead and hit everybody, but I'm going to see if the guy who I really wanted on with is going to take the bait. If he takes the bait at Summer Jam, I'm not dropping my album for another almost 7 weeks. If he takes the bait in this 7-8 week time, gives me time to sit, focus on him, add a verse to the song, and go ahead and end this shit. So the way he's thinking is supreme, Mike. He's thinking like a killer. He's thinking like a stone cold killer. Very strategic. And here's the thing about it. Nas took the bait because Jay's smart. Jay's a street dude. He's like, I know the street dudes around him is not about to let him like not say nothing when I'm talking to him like this in front of everybody in New York. I know Jungle not gonna let this shit ride. You feel me? And he got the Stillmatic freestyle out of him. And as soon as he got that, he went in.
I'm about to put the yearbook in the chat too. Like we said earlier in the show, we really appreciate everybody for purchasing the yearbook. Hope you're enjoying it. We want to know what y'all think about it as well. Let me go ahead and put this link in the chat real quick. Pin this thing to the top.
And what say you to those things that I just said, Mike? What say you?
I agree with that. But I was going to actually go to what somebody was saying in the chat, man. Like, Destroy and Rebuild didn't do Prodigy any favors either.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. Yeah. Well.
Shout out to Rigor Raw with the super chat. He said, peace, homies. Jay cried live on radio with Angie Martinez when he heard Ether. He got destroyed. Actual facts. What are we talking about? Well,
I'm not touching that.
All right, this is the thing, too. What somebody mentioned the Stillmatic freestyle. We were talking about it. Somebody said that was fire. What people got to understand is, the politics of radio and Hot 97, they were very, very heavy on Jay. And they wouldn't even play the Stillmatic freestyle from what I understand. Now, if somebody's from New York in the chat and I'm incorrect, let me know. But
no, I've had cats from up there tell me the same thing. So I would like somebody to give me some dissension to that. Because I've had plenty of people from up top kind of echo those sentiments. And I want people to understand how egregious this is. That hip-hop stations are not playing a diss record where it's Nas rapping over the paid in full beat.
Oh, no. And it was vicious, too.
And it was vicious, too.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to understand, when I be talking about, like who owns who and who belongs to who and who's paying for what, Mike, this is what I mean when the Summer Jam thing was such a big moment, because it revealed so many things about the industry to so many people, too.
And Nas's reaction, too. When Nas went on Power 105 and just pretty much start airing it out. I mean, you got to think about the fact that with the Stillmatic freestyle, this isn't under Columbia, right? The record label that Nas was. So if it's not under Columbia, these commercial radio stations honestly aren't obligated to play it, and they didn't. Right. And so, and like Nas said, they named the whole show the Takeover. They wanted him out of here.
Right. No, Mike.
And Nas wouldn't go. And, we've seen this like 2 or 3 different times, man. The industry wanted Nas out of here, and the fans kept him.
Pretty much.
Blue Collar Hustler says, Nas is actually the one who threw the bait out. When he called Jay-Z out on the bridge in 2001, Nas thought Takeover was whack, but Jungle made him respond.
Told you Jungle wasn't about to have that.
And like you said, I think Jay knew that. I remember that track, The Bridge. Okay, look, since we're doing that, we got to rewind even more. We got to rewind.
If you want to start unpacking it.
No, let's start unpacking it because that's
going on for a minute, Mike. But we will survive mine. And they claim to be New York's king. It ain't about that. Jay's on What You Think About That. Your shit sold how many? My shit did 4. You know what I mean? Like they've been.
Well, all right. So I've always heard that whole line on Nostradamus was a response to Ball Till You Fall from Memphis Bleak.
I can help you with that.
Yeah. So where does that come from?
I never really believed that like that, Mike, because I always looked at Nostradamus like the crappy freestyle record that it is.
Okay, so all right, let's take that out. Somebody mentioned the bridge. So they're talking about that response where Bleak said on Mind Right, Money Right, we was like, your lifestyle's written. who
Well,
you
hold on.
supposed to be, play your position, right? It's
Right. What
still
was?
a bleak response. Like, so
Yeah,
what's
what was the Nas bars to that again? Hold on.
no, he didn't. Want to know whose life was written, the ice, the women, yeah, that on the bridge.
I mean, that's what I mean. It was like I didn't.
Where do you think it started?
Right. I
On
didn't think
wax.
on wax.
Because I want to
I
hear
think
this. We've never talked about this.
on wax. I think it's probably like when Nas is talking on I Am. And they claim to be New York's king. It ain't about that because that really wasn't. You got to understand, like that really wasn't a shot. I don't even think at Volume 2. I think that was more a shot at Volume 1 with like The City Is Mine and what's the record that you quote all the time, Mike? It's All Right. That last verse on It's All Right. My man died, and all I did was inherit his stress. Like Nas is probably looking at it like you inherited whose stress? Like what? Like what? What? For real? You know, competitively speaking, even though he would never show it the way Jay would competitively. So it probably started with that line. For me, it started with that line because there was nobody else he's talking about on I Am except for Jay. Who's he talking about? And they claim to be New York's king. It ain't about that.
So
who else did he talk about? That's April of '99, right?
What do you think the whole Ask Nas he don't want it with Hove comes from? Like, what's that a response to directly?
See, that's what I mean. Now that's some lore and that's some conjecture because I really don't know. That's what I mean about that's a great chess.
Everybody in the chat saying, "Come and get me."
Come and get me off Volume 3.
I think that's what people are talking about because they can't be talking about the Nostradamus "Come and get me," right?
No. They're talking about the J Come and Get Me. The J Come and Get Me is about Ja Rule, y'all. Went on MTV with do-rags. I made them love you. You know, normally then people wouldn't be fucking with you till I made them understand why you do what you do. I expected to hear Jay if it wasn't for you, but instead all I heard was buzzing in your crew. Nas and Jay's crew was never close like that. That's Ja Rule he talking about. He talking about Ja Rule. Because look at who Ja Rule is starting to become around that time too. That's around the time of Ja Rule's come up and he starts moving those double and triple platinum units and giving Jay some comp. And understand how competitive it is. Even on Excuse Me, Miss, Jay is like only dudes moving units. M, Pimp, Juice, and us. Like Ja Rule wasn't right there moving more units.
Yeah, that's smoke and mirrors. Ja was selling more records than Jay at the time. Ludacris was selling more records than Jay at the time. But yeah,
Come and Get Me is about Ja Rule. Come and Get Me is a Ja Rule disc. If you're talking about Volume 3.
Well, people are saying from Nostradamus. Come and Get Me from Nostradamus. What bars are y'all talking about? I was listening to Come and Get Me today.
Yeah, I'm about to say Revolve the Spit.
I'm sorry, people are saying Come Get Me. I'm tripping. I don't know why I'm saying Come and Get Me, but yeah.
Get Me. Hold on, Come Get Me.
Yeah. The premiere track.
Yeah, track 6 on Nostradamus. Like, that's not a J disc.
Come get it. What is wrong with me, y'all? I'm sitting here thinking, hold on. Some people are saying come and get me. Some people are saying come get it. What are we talking about here? No, it's come.
If they're talking about either Come and Get Me off Nostradamus isn't a diss record that I know of. Come and Get Me off Volume 3 by Jay is definitely talking about Ja Rule. Went on MTV with do-rags. I Made Them Love You. It's definitely Ja Rule around some holla holla.
Yeah.
And things that we do.
Yeah, people are saying Come Get Me is all about Jay. On Nostradamus. Go back and listen. I got some homework to do.
And you don't really want to pull up the cards of skip. Queensbridge King plaques awards applause when I do my thing. No, that's not a Jay disc.
Everybody in here is saying Come Get Me is all about Jay. It's not just one or two people. I'm going to go back and listen. What's the bar that makes y'all think that?
Fuck you say, girly mouth, get it crunk like the dirty South. And I know you seen Give Me the Red Eye. Imagine what she feel for me. You make hot songs, but she knows you steal from me. Oh, God. You make hot songs, but she knows you steal from me. They might have a point, the dead president's line. I'm running through the bars in my head. You know I'm running the song around in my head.
Yeah.
No, valid. No, valid shot. Valid shot. But what I'm trying to tell y'all, that's off Nostradamus. He made the comment on I Am a year before. Or earlier that year. Y'all talking November. I'm talking April.
Well, I guess what I'm asking is what made Jay jump out the window on Takeover, and it could be
No, they've
Come
been
Get
taking
Me.
little. That's what I'm saying. No, there's been little jabs been taken for a minute. That's what I'm
Everybody's
saying.
saying
Like,
that's it, Coop. That's the line.
yeah, no, no,
Okay.
no. I literally just rapped that whole song to myself in my head. It took me a minute to get to it, but
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 no,
but
that was
no.
a great performance, though, man. I must admit, and it
First of
was a
all,
whole lot that built up to it.
first of all, it's packed. It's Mike. That's the only part of Nostradamus is good. Track 6, 7, and 8. It's the only good part of Nostradamus. The rest of it's some garbage for the most
You
part.
know, I went all through Nostradamus today because, like I said, we were going
But the
to.
point is, you're gonna find some whack Nas songs, Mike. Did you get you one?
Did I get one? You know what? I got. Let's see how many I got. Uh, no, I only got one from Nostradamus. Believe it or not.
No. I only got one from Nostradamus too, but there's plenty of candidates for that.
Shout out to Blue Collar Hustler. He says it started on It Was Written. Lex TV sets is the minimum, and then I Am. Then Come and Get Me, where he said that. Shoot, hold on. Chat's
No. The
moving.
local TV sets a minimum. I think is a Biggie show. That's not a J show. Y'all got it confused.
Then he
The
said,
message
come and get me. Nas found out about Jay and Carmen. You make hot songs, but she knows you steal from me. Carmen said Nas wanted to fight Jay.
First of all, never trust a woman that engages in the type of scandalous tactics that she's engaging in. So anything that she says holds no weight in this game in the way that I look at the game.
But that line makes sense, though. That line makes sense.
The line makes sense.
No.
The line makes sense. Now it makes sense why Jay said, you made it a hot line. I made it a hot song. Now that makes sense.
The puzzle pieces are coming together.
What I keep trying to say is that the We Will Survive comment is still April 99, which was the first time where I was like, oh. And this is what I want people to say, understand is like, no, Nas is just as competitive as Jay is. You're just really starting to see it now. He's just real sneaky. Jay is like ultra competitive the way Michael Jordan is, where you can tell. Nas is more like Magic. He like will smile at you while he's being competitive. No. Everything's cool. Let's pass the ball and be friendly. Magic be thinking, well, fuck this guy up when we get there.
You know what? I thought we were going to talk about Pusha T first, but we ended up getting into that Summer Jam performance. I mean, we got like 173 people in the room right now. We might as well talk about some of these Pusha T interviews.
I'm about to say, did you want to stay? Okay, wherever you want to go.
We'll go to the Pusha T, and then we'll go to the top 5 wackest Jay-Z songs. And top 5 wackest Nas songs. I know Leroy Green's going to go crazy on this segment.
First of all, before we do that, I do want to I want to do a little Pharrell segue, right quick about some things when we get done with the Pusha and kind of go to the J Nas song thing.
Okay.
And I want to talk about this Black Star thing too.
Okay, cool. Jay Short with the super chat. He says, you got a recent trend of people trying to rewrite history and pretend Super Ugly was greater than Ether. Truth must be told. No, that's real. We got to document things, and that's why we got the yearbook. Yearbook's in the chat. We have to document things properly. I think a lot of people don't understand the fact that it was Stillmatic freestyle, then the full version of Takeover, then you get Ether, and then you get Super Ugly. But see, what a lot of people try to do is make it seem like it's a Takeover versus Ether thing, and that's not chronologically right. Blue Collar Hustle says, Nas said King Mag, the bar on It Was Written was for Jay.
The what?
King Mag, the bar? Let us know what you mean on that. Rigger Raw number 7 says, the beat was still simple. Go ahead.
Mike, it's 1996. It Was Written in Reasonable Doubt are getting released a week apart. These guys don't even really have much of a relationship around that time. Nas has already dealt with the whole Tupac and the Biggie thing. That's like, those are Biggie Tupac shots. Like Jay's not relevant enough. Jay's is not relevant enough even in this sphere for Nas to be taking shots at him at the time. And I'm not being funny when I say that. Jay didn't even have to deal with Def Jam yet. He didn't get that till December of 96.
Rigorol 7 says the beef was simple. Jay a jealous type and wanted his spot. He attacked in every way he could and still got clapped with the machine behind him. Esco. I mean, again, as a Jay-Z fan, that's hard to refute. Jarv says, did they give us a release date for Pusha T yet? No. We're just getting a lot of interviews.
In a lot of interviews.
Okay. That's what I want to start with.
What about this?
Well, no. Let me start with what Ebro said.
Okay.
Ebro tweeted out, your streams may be higher, but Pusha T's album is still more important. And I'm glad in the Hot 97 interview he clarified that because, you know, when he said the streams might be higher, everybody brought Drake's name into it, yada, yada. But I do agree with the fact that it is important that we do celebrate somebody who's been in the game for 20 years and is still, you know, pretty much in his prime, I guess you would say, right? As a solo artist. So that is important to see.
Speaking, Mike, yes, he would be at the. If we're talking like, because I know we were trying to think of NBA players to compare him to. So if we're talking about his NBA career, I mean, when would you say this kicked off? About 2009, 2010 officially? When did Till the Casket Drop come out?
Till the Casket Drop. What was that? 09, y'all? I think it might.
I feel like it's 09.
Yeah.
So I feel like, I mean, he hit the mixtapes hard, like again, like on some re-up gang shit solo right after that.
Yeah.
From 2010. So yeah, he's about 12 years into his career. So this would be like solo prime, starting to be the end of solo prime type of stuff. Like, you know.
What I get from Pusha T is, man, he loves this rap shit.
But I'm about to say, but who knows? Because, you know.
He loves this rap shit, but this press run thing that he's doing, I could tell this is kind of new for him. And what is it? What's those guys' name? Diesel Zamero on Showtime? Yeah.
The Susamero.
The Susamero. He did their show. He did the Charlemagne interview. He did Hot 97, Ebro's in the Morning. All three of those interviews are drastically different. Actually covered three different things. I tend to lean more towards Ebro's interviews because he focuses more on the music, whereas Charlemagne's interviews are more about personal life. It feels like Charlemagne's trying to be Dr. Phil or something, or give an Oprah style type of interview. Desus and Mero, it was kind of like a lot of clowning and stuff. You know, it was short. It was 15 minutes. But what I do get from this is Pharrell is extremely involved in this Pusha T project in ways that he's never been involved in Pusha T's solo career, feels like.
Right.
And it feels like they're going in two, I don't want to say two totally different directions, but it feels like from what Pusha T is saying, they're clashing a lot, or they have clashed throughout the process of creating this project in ways where Pusha wants to keep it street and all the stuff that we like about Pusha, and Pharrell's trying to take it somewhere that Pusha's audience may not like. Mike 100 says, why Ebro and the company don't show Nas the same love publicly? Good question. Well, you know, I think that kind of goes to something that me and Cooper talking about offline. It seems like the machine is fully behind this Pusha T project. And I feel like that's more Pharrell than it is Kanye. But, you know, what are some of your thoughts from some of the interviews you've seen?
I don't love it. You know, I'm a big fan. This is my favorite rapper post the whole. I mean, this is my favorite rapper pretty much post Godson from Nas. You know, until recently again. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So this is my guy. I've heard everything, and I've never seen a rollout like this for him. And so I tried to look at it from the perspective of the way Nas fans looked at it when we were talking about the Grammys, and it's like, no. He deserved that type of pub and that type of run. Let's give him that. And so from that basis, for his fan base, if his fan base likes to see him get, you know, hyped and publicized this way, I'm all for it because he's earned it. Because he's actually, Mike, I mean, I know people keep talking about grinding. It's 20 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so like people are like, oh, he's been in the rap game 20 years. It's like, no. He's been in the rap game longer than that. I keep trying to tell people. They used to be called Full Eclipse, and their debut album is exclusive audio footage, not Lord Willing. I believe exclusive audio footage came out in 1999.
They've been doing this for a long time.
They've been doing this for a very long time, and he's never had a rollout like this. So if you're telling me that an artist of his caliber, an MC of his stature, who's respected and feared the way that he is getting a rollout like this in really realistically going in year number like 23, 24 of his career,
Right.
realistically, then I'm all for that. Because those are the types of things that, like, when I make my hip hop list that's going viral, it makes me still put Cool G Rap as the most underrated MC of all time. Because Cool G Rap has yet to receive that. And I think my issue with what Pharrell is doing is something that I've always said. Well, in the link of this great high-level lyrical dope boy rap shit, it goes Cool G Rap to Jay-Z to Pusha T. But style-wise, he is somewhere more in the middle between Jay-Z and Cool G Rap and closer to Cool G Rap than Jay. And so I don't like Pharrell trying to Jay-Z.
Jarv says that he thinks that this rollout is stalling. I will say this. I mean, because we don't have a date. Clearly, the album is done. At least that's what they say. Because everybody who's done the interview, from Charlamagne to Desus and Mero to the people at Hot 97, they're saying they heard the album. So it's done. We don't have a release date on it. But one thing that's striking to me, they all keep saying, or at least Charlamagne kept saying, this is his best complete body of work. So for me, that lets me know that if you got to put those adjectives on it, it's not better than Daytona.
Nope.
So, you know, when you say complete body of work, you're qualifying it in a sense. And I don't really even know what that means. I guess from commercial radio people, that means that maybe it has some radio-friendly stuff on it. And with Pharrell on there and his approach to things, just based on how Pusha T talking about how they've been working, it sounds like that's where Pharrell wanted to go. Like you said, it seems like Pharrell's trying to get him to do some things that Jay-Z would do. And we're going to get to, you know, some of Jay-Z's weaker records, you know, when we do these, you know, Jay-Z's wackest 5 songs or whatever. And a lot of those times was when he was trying to do something current.
Well, Mike, also what I'm doing, and this is part of the notes that I've been taking, because here's the thing that I really started thinking about today, and here's why I don't like it. Why is Pharrell, if this is what's going on, trying to give, in a sort of way, push the same thing that he's given Jay-Z artistically, creatively, and stylistically, and production and beat-wise, like all the way down, all things musical? Why is he giving that to Push when Jay is inherently more charismatic and versatile than Push, and the results of Jay and Pharrell's combination hasn't been as stunning as people think? Because, Mike, I've been sitting up here listing the songs that they've done together, and we're about to talk about that in relationship to some things, because that's why I was like, no, I want to kind of go to Pharrell for a second and kind of highlight some things about Jay in a positive way, but also about Pharrell.
I think the Neptunes and Jay did some great work together. They had some misses. I like Change Clothes a lot. I like La 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 a lot. I like Give It To Me a lot.
No. Hold all that. Hold all that, Mike. We're gonna do it all. We're gonna do it all.
We're gonna do it all. All right. Well, I want to answer your question though. I think that Pharrell has this thing where, well, first of all, Jay-Z isn't his. Like, Jay-Z's not his artist that he had a hand in, you know, early on. So it's different when it's Pusha for him to be able to make that with. I feel like he's kind of had that thing with T.I. as well, where he's over different points in T.I.'s career. They've gotten together to try to maximize on that magic. I feel like for the type of career that Pharrell and the Neptunes have had and the type of career that T.I.'s had, I don't feel like they've ever maximized on their collaborative efforts. I think whenever they collaborate, they've made some cool songs, but it hasn't reached the zenith of what both of those two bring to the table. You know what I mean? It's like, really, you put together, it's like when Iverson and Mello got teamed up. It looked great on paper. And they didn't have a lot of time together. I mean, the numbers look good, but it wasn't something that brought you a championship.
No.
You know?
Their numbers look good. Like Iverson's averaging like 26, 27, like 7, 8 assists because he's passing the ball to Melo a lot, who's just shooting. But like, who's playing defense and who's actually running plays? Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, as far as like that whole collaboration with Pharrell and T.I., I think that Pharrell has consistently tried to get that magic, and because he knows T.I. is the one that's actually versatile in those ways. He's the one that Pharrell's even the one that called him the southern version of Jay-Z on that Down with the King mixtape. So I think he wanted to do that, and that time has passed. So now here we go with Pusha T. And I just think that, man, what we're gonna see on this album, we're gonna see what works best for this individual artist. Kanye's approach or Pharrell's approach.
We are.
And in my personal opinion, Kanye's approach to being able to produce seasoned acts, he's the best at it. Period. I mean, everybody else is kind of giving you beats, and he even talked about, I guess the process of Diet Coke and how that came together. I think he was saying that on the Hot 97 interview. And Kanye's direction of like how to approach it and this and that, he still let you do your thing. He's just kind of giving you a flow to run with. And yeah, it's different.
How about this, Mike? Diet Coke is the best song that we've heard.
Yeah, and that's Ye. Listen, this is what I will say. I want to make a prediction. I think that if this is half and half, because I think they're saying it's 12 songs, right? So let's just say it's 6 Kanye songs and 6 Pharrell songs. We've heard one of Pharrell's songs, and that's the one with Jay. And we heard Diet Coke. I think that Kanye's songs are probably going to be the top half of the album as far as like the top best songs in the album. That's just my prediction. I hope I'm wrong, but that's what's going to separate this from being a good effort. Honestly, this is what's going to separate it from being album of the year or not. Pharrell stuff's going to have to stand up to what we heard on Diet Coke, honestly.
I mean, and Mike, that's at a bare minimum because it's not like Diet Coke is if you know, you know. It's not like that's it. You know what I mean?
Who may hear me clearly? Not that it matters, but, because I don't think it's on the album.
Hear Me Clearly is not better than Diet Coke, even if it is making an album. You know what I mean? So
people are saying Diet Coke's not great. What song do y'all think is better? Y'all think Neck and Wrist is better than Diet Coke, or Diet Coke's better than Neck and Wrist?
Of course, all the Jason.
And yes, 88 Keys. Yeah, 88 Keys and Kanye produced Diet Coke.
Correct. Give 88 Keys. Said like the beat's like 15 years old. And this album is only 12 songs long, which I told you part of the reason why I love Push so much is that he never overdoes it. Like you're going to get 9 to 13 songs.
Well, he addressed that. He said, you don't make classic music with 23 records. And
how many times have I said that? How many times I come up here and said like long players? Yeah, niggas don't want to.
He also said something that I've said. When people go out there with these double discs, and they could say they're not talking about Drake, but it's the truth. They dropped Scorpion and all them damn songs so that they could jack the stream numbers up. Because at the time, when Life of Adidon and Kanye and Pusha was kicking Drake's ass, he needed to be able to show, like, yo, I'm still doing numbers. That's why that's why he vanished from social media for a month, right? And then they came with a double album. Pushed the album back and everything. And that double album was so they could jack the numbers. I mean, he's going to do numbers anyway. He's Drake. But if we do a double disc, it's foolproof. Because in this era of streaming, when people give you 20-something songs, it's not about the quality. It's about jacking the numbers up.
Okay, so Pac is probably transcendent and trend-setting once again. Because conceptually, once upon a time, when the double album really started becoming a thing briefly, and you get All Eyes on Me, Life After Death and Wu-Tang Forever. Well, part of why you're getting them is because the artist had started, like hip hop had shifted and become more of a money game, and the financial gain was greater to be had. And people started to understand that their financial gain was going to be greater to fulfill their contractual obligations quicker and get free while they were still hot.
Right.
And so it got really misappropriated and misconstrued really quickly because truthfully, after those 3 albums for me, like those are the only 3 quality double albums really. Like those are the only
Forever?
3. I just said 3.
Yeah.
All Eyes on Me, Life After Death, Wu-Tang Forever.
Yeah.
Like those are the only ones that are like even quality. And what did I tell you about Wu-Tang Forever? Well, that shit's too long. And to be honest, and so is All Eyes on Me Book 2. But you want to know what's just right? Life After Death, and that's why it plays the best. Because like when Pusha's even talking about 25 songs, Life After Death isn't even that. I think it's 21, Mike.
Yeah, it is. Honestly, you know, if Biggie was on No Limit, that's 1 disc. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing against No Limit.
No, but that's just how they used to do it. No Limit used to load up them albums. No Limit to give you your money's worth. You paying $14.99, you're gonna get 20 songs.
So Mike, I want to unpack this whole Pharrell thing and what he's doing with Push. Can I name you the songs that he's done, produced for Jay-Z?
Go ahead.
And tell me where you think, Mike, and all jokes aside, when you hear a top 25 Jay-Z song, I want you to stop me and let me know. Okay?
All right.
Ape Shit. Fuck All Night off the Blueprint 2.
I like that song. I like that song a lot.
Mike, I said stop me when you have a top 25 Jay-Z
I'm just
song.
saying. I just wanted to be clear. I like that song. That's a dope record. Tyler, the Creator, actually said that's his favorite Jay-Z Neptune collaboration.
Okay.
We'll go ahead.
Hold on, Mike. Is that a classic rap song?
No. But I like it.
Okay.
That's one of those songs I like.
No, it's a good record. I'm going to get to some of the stuff they did that I personally like that I think is great, but I know it's not considered classic. Oceans off Magna Carta. I know you don't like that.
I don't like anything on Magna Carta. I tried to listen to Magna Carta today. You know what? Hold on. I want to stop you real quick.
Go ahead, please do. You stopping me for the wax song?
This is what I had some notes on for Magna Carta. Somewhere in America. Versus. But see, I didn't put these in the top 5 wackest Jay-Z songs because they're not even full songs. They're not even full songs. This is the first time that we even heard Jay kind of do like some rapping interludes a lot on records. You know what I mean? Somewhere in America is trash.
Trash. I tried not to count the Mike. I'm gonna tell you something. This is what I mean. My lists were funny about the wax songs. I tried not to pick the stuff where I could tell they weren't even trying. Like Nostradamus didn't come to mind because it's like the first time I heard that record, I was like, oh, so this nigga just not gonna try. I'm not gonna count it if you're not gonna try. I'm talking about the stuff you tried at and failed at. You know when you was trying and when you failed.
Air Pegasus says Picasso Baby was dope. No, it's not. Go listen to it.
Mike, please go.
Go listen to it.
Mike, go take care of that.
Come on, man. I'm a Hassa. I'm a Rasta. Man, cut it out. Go ahead. Go back to your list, man.
Mike, we're 4 songs in. We have our first classic record. La La La.
I love La La La. Dope.
That's a classic. No, Mike, that's a classic. Would you say that's a
He
classic?
got off on that record, yeah.
He got off on that. I'm the franchise like the Houston Rockets, yeah.
He was like, Jacqueline and as on the S class, lay back in that Maybach road, the rest, in your long-legged life, ever seen her while surrounded by this much ice? Yeah, he was killing that shit.
No, he killed that. La La La.
I was mad that wasn't on the Black Album, honestly.
I was mad that just really wasn't anywhere where we could just like hold it forever.
But it wouldn't have fit on the Black Album, to be honest. I mean, but I wanted it on there.
You want to know what would have been even better is if it would have been, it feels more, doesn't it feel more like the Girls remix type of vibe off the Blueprint?
Mm-hmm. It does.
I would have liked to see it on the Blueprint or on the excerpts at the end of the Blueprint because I think it's all recorded in that time period. He was just on fire around that time, Mike.
Right. Rigor Raw with the super chat says, Disc 1 of The Streets Disciple is some of my favorite work from Nas. This 2 had bangers too. Can we talk about how dope that would have been if it was 14 tracks? I was going through that album today too. I think if some cuts would have been made, it would have been a better album. Um, I did want to say something about, you talking about making cuts from the blueprint. Obviously, if I were like taking songs off the blueprint, I'm taking
Yeah.
Jigga Jigga That Nigga Jigga off and Whole Lot Ovito off. I'm taking Renegade off, but if people want to keep that on there, I get it. But the one song from the Blueprint 2 that I think would have been great in its place was All Around the World. I would have loved to have heard All Around the World on the Blueprint.
Mike, you like All Around the World?
I like All Around the World.
Mike, can I tell you something? That's low key one of my favorite Jay-Z songs.
It's a dope
I
record.
love All Around the World.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with you. If I could actually submit something to you, I feel like the Blueprint should be a song shorter, and that All Around the World should go where Hola Jovito is. Jigga Jigga That Nigga Jigga just disappears, and you move Lyrical Exercise right in front of Mama Loves Me, and there you have his best album to me.
Yeah, no, I could see that. Renegade goes though,
And then
and
you still-
honestly,
and
I'm
then-
taking
and then you
Renegade off because of the beat,
No,
and it's
I'm
not
gonna-
about Eminem's performance because he
No,
did
I'm
his
gonna
thing.
keep, no, I'm gonna keep Renegade about Jay and Eminem's performance because they were both great on that record. People forget that Jay's great on that record.
You think he's great on that record? I think he's just overshadowed by how great Eminem is on that record and how all right, let's say it like this: how comfortable Eminem sounds on that record.
How about this? It's very, very comparable, and not quite the same. But it's kind of like how when people be like, "Oh, well, AZ stunted on Nas on Life's a Bitch." It's like, oh, not all the way if you listen and you understand how rhyme scheme and patterns and contextualization and literary devices and like all those things really work and come together to create a moment, not necessarily the distance between the two that you're thinking.
I understand what you're saying.
It's not to the same level because Renegade is nowhere near Life's a Bitch in the canon of musical songs, and neither are either one of the mic performances in my estimation. I'm just talking comparatively when speaking about verses of two guys who are great together on a song.
Jay Short with the super chat says, "I feel like Pusha T is held to an unfair standard because of his outstanding catalog. He has no Nostradamus or Blueprint 2, even with the clips." That's fair.
Fair. He's been okay. So here's the thing though. It's like he's been a great, I guess you would say, four mic artist outside of Daytona.
Well, all right. So I guess you're looking at him kind of like in a Fabulous type of sense, right?
No, he's better. His albums are better than Fab.
Much better.
Like My Name Is My Name and Daytona to me are better than anything Fab has made as an album.
Well, we constantly bring up, Jadakiss in this, and I think that Pusha has a better catalog than Jada. I think the Clips have a better catalog than the Locks.
Take what I said about Fabulous, apply it to Jadakiss as well. My Name Is My Name, and Daytona's better than anything that he's released as a solo artist. Next.
All right, what I was gonna say about what you had to say about Jay-Z on Renegade, it's kind of like somebody doing a dunk in the slam dunk contest that only dunkers could appreciate. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't bump up your score with the public.
But don't great prior dunkers and Hall of Famers usually judge those things?
Yeah, but the public sees it and be like, "That's not a 9," but they don't know how difficult it is because it's not flashy. Eminem was flashy on Renegade, and it's interesting because Jay is normally the flashy one. But
you want to know what it is? M is the shiny new car. He's real sleek and riding around the curve, real fancy, and Jay is kind of like rumbling over it in a way he usually doesn't, but it's in a dope way. Like his double entendres on there. Like he's double entendre and double barring it. You know what I'm saying? When I'm saying double barring it, where it's like he's not just rhyming the first bar, he's rhyming the bar before and after it too.
I think he tried to get too tricky.
Shit, Mike, but he pulled it off. The shit hard. It's hard. I keep telling people, writing a rap verse is one of the hardest things to do in music. Like a great rap verse is one of the hardest things to do in music to compose.
And Jay don't even write, right?
And Jay don't even write. So the fact that he can compose something like that and create the entendre with the rhyme pattern in effect, that's what I'm talking about. It's like, well, I mean, it's not my fault that you don't understand the depth of rhyme style and schemes the way that I do either. That's not my fault either.
My bad. I had to just put up on the screen that Eminem just sold 700 million. What is it? Hold on, what's the stat? It says Rivers has surpassed 700 million streams.
What? What?
Yeah. Eminem's song River. It has passed 700 million streams. You ain't heard that song?
Mike, you better stop playing with me, man.
I'm serious. That's a stat that that's a stat that came down the line. I had to put it up on the screen. Y'all bump River all the time, right?
What's the song called?
It's called River. It says River has now surpassed 700 million streams. The 9th studio album single from Revival has obtained over 700 million streams on the platform. This is Eminem's 9th song to reach this milestone.
I won't be entertaining this any further.
Mike, it got 700 million streams. It's got to be dope, right?
Mike, I'm very proud. That's what it is. No, Mike, I want to stick to this Jay-Z and Pharrell thing.
Yeah, go ahead. I got us off course.
No. You're fine. Right now we have Ape Shit, Fuck All Night, Oceans, La La La. Anything off Kingdom Come, Mike. What say you?
Oh man, that song with Usher, Anything You Want Girl, is one of the worst Jay-Z songs ever. It almost made my list.
It almost made mine too. Mike, remember Nigga Please?
I like Nigga Please. It's not a great song, but I like it. And you know what? He was really, you know what I feel like? I know Jay's going to get me when I say this.
We're not going to the brunch, no way.
Right, we're not going to the Pusha T, get us some brunch tickets. He sounds a lot like Young Chris on Nigga Please. It almost feels like Young Chris wrote the whole thing. Rigor Ross says, credit to Jay. He did murder Renegade. Still lost. Yes, sir.
Young Chris has writing credits on Nigga Please, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, he got a verse on there. Okay. You ain't flies me. It's the OC.
Mike, that song's not hot. Okay, Mike, we're going to go. Can I interest you in Gotta Have It off of Watch the Throne? Like Gotta Have It?
Gotta Have It's dope. Now that's dope.
I'm gonna give you Gotta Have It. Okay. Mike, okay.
I think it's actually one of the better songs on Watch the Throne. I'm not as high on Watch the Throne as most people are.
It is, but saying it's one of the better songs on Watch the Throne isn't saying much, and I've told you that. So, Mike, right now we're
Watch the Throne's a classic. What you mean?
No, it's not a classic. Stop that. So right now we're 7 songs in, Mike. We've only named one classic record that they've done together, and that's La La La. The rest of the stuff is just good or it's not good. Mike, I'm gonna keep going. Excuse me, Miss
is a classic.
I love Excuse Me, Miss on the personal.
Yeah, Excuse Me, Miss is a classic. One of their strongest collaborations.
Excuse
Me, Miss actually kept the Blueprint 2 commercially afloat.
Mike, it's the only good single, really.
It's like the only single on there. Because Bonnie and Clyde, they ain't do nothing. Even with Beyonce on there.
I thought about adding that to the list, but then I was like, well, I don't want to.
Thought about it too.
Yeah, because it's terrible.
It's not even their worst collaboration.
That's pretty sad. One of their worst collaboration made my list.
Me too.
So right now they're 2 for 8 together in terms of like he's got 8 records with Pharrell. 2 of them are classic. Mike, Entrepreneur. I forgot about that song.
I hate that song.
Mike, when I realized, Mike, if I would have remembered Entrepreneur, it would have made my wackest list.
He only got a verse on there. That's mostly Pharrell songs. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do songs that were actually his. That's kind of why I kept Pop for Rock off of it too, because it's kind of like, I mean, it's on Jay's album, but I wanted to get songs with 3 verses of his on there.
Mike, Blue Magic.
I like Blue Magic.
Is it a classic?
It's not, because it's a replay of My Melody.
Right. So we're 10 records in. We got 2 classic songs between them. Mike, probably my personal favorite collaboration of theirs, I Know off American Gangster. Mike, what do you think about I Know?
I like I Know. I actually like Blue Magic more than I like I Know.
You want to know why I love I Know? Because for those people who keep jumping on here, like Leroy Green, talking about Jay's uses, usage of literary devices. This is one of those moments, Mike, this is what I'm about to say. This is one of those moments where his usage of literary devices, from concept to execution to connection of words that exist upon each other and dependent upon the next. Oh, it's one of his more beautiful moments as an artist, actually. If you're talking about it from
50 claims that he got it from him. What was that song that 50 had that was kind of like that? It was like a Baltimore Love thing.
I mean, like, even if he stole it, because he's been known to steal, well, he's better than 50, and it came off way better than anything he stole.
I don't know, man. I actually think, I mean, it's a whole different type of song. I think a Baltimore Love thing might be better.
No, it's not. 50 can't rap like this, Mike. I'm sorry.
No,
like the way Jay's rapping, no, 50 can't rap like that. No. How could you deny me so vehemently? No. Like he's not even using words like that. Like,
man, he doesn't even 50 even said something along those lines. He didn't say vehemently, but I don't know.
No, man, Jay. No. I mean, Mike, Jay is he's contextualizing the love of a woman to a heroin addiction, and he plays it masterfully.
That's exactly what 50 did on Baltimore Love thing. Same exact concept.
No, Mike, and I understand that. Except for like one guy is like one of the greatest rappers who ever lived, and it's not even a fucking question.
No, I feel you, but I guess my thing is when I've heard the same exact thing from another big name artist 3 years prior, it kind of loses its luster.
Mike, can I interest you in looking at The Front Door versus I Gave You Power?
No, I feel you. Go listen to Baltimore Love thing. I know you don't fuck with 50 like
go
that.
Listen to Looking at the Front Door. It's like, man, that's a really great record. And it's like, then go listen to I Gave You Power. And it's like, well, never mind.
Well, no, you're talking about another song. Friendly Game of...
no, I'm Looking at the Front Door. Looking at the Front Door is more than being at the gun. That's not just a friendly game. No,
you're talking about... You talking about Large Professor? Nah.
Yeah. The Large Pro joint where they talking about being the gun off Breaking Atoms.
It wasn't Looking at the Front Door, was it?
What is it?
No.
It's been a minute.
No.
It's like 19.
Looking at the Front Door is great.
It is. That is great. Hold on. No, I might be wrong. Hold on. What's the record? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like Nas wasn't the first person to talk about being like in that whole gun concept. Like he wasn't the first. It's just like you go compare. Where's the record?
Well, I thought you were talking about Pharrell Munch's group.
No. Organized Confusion did a play on it too. Correct.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about Organized Confusion. Okay. Now back to I Know. What else is after that?
Oh, So Ambitious.
I didn't really like So Ambitious, but people like it.
It's not a classic though. Mike, Allure?
Allure, people love Allure.
I'll give Allure some classic status, actually, Mike.
Oh, definitely.
Right. Mike, of course, the winner of the bunch, Give It To Me.
Of course. See, this is the thing, and I think I was telling you about this offline. Like, stuff like I Know and Allure, they're dope songs, but it's not what I want to hear from a Jay-Z and Neptune collaboration. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I want to hear from a Jay-Z and Neptune collaboration is just some other shit. Like, I feel like Jay can make Allure and I Know with pretty much any producer. But see, again, that's not to anybody's fault of their own, because I see what the Neptunes are able to cook up with people like Busta Rhymes. You know what I'm saying? So it's like some spaced out other shit.
So can I tell you something?
People said Allure Submit. Frank said Allure Submit. Go ahead.
Okay. People love Allure and swear by it. I swear they do. Mike, Billionaire Boys Club off Magna Carta with Nas. What say you?
Yeah, that's actually my second favorite song on Magna Carta. But it's not a really good song. I just like it. Yeah.
It's not a really good song. Saying it's the second best song.
I'm not gonna fight for it or nothing. You know.
Saying it's the second best song on Magna Carta Magna Carta is worse than Nostradamus.
It could be.
No, it is, Mike. Come and Get Me, Shoot 'Em Up, and Last Words is on Nostradamus. There are not 3 dope records on Magna Carta. Mike, Frontin'.
I like Frontin' a lot.
You like Frontin' too. You think Frontin's a classic?
I think Frontin's a classic. Yeah.
You can? Okay, so Mike, I just gave you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I gave you 15 Pharrell and Jay-Z pairings. We walked out with 5 classic records. Now, why in the hell, when you have that type of ratio with Jay, would I trust you with Pusha T? And just so we're clear, and here's why I want to contextualize it even further. when
It's a
Push
good
is never
point.
even been close, when Push is never even been close to the hit maker that Jay is. But then and this is what I mean about Mike. The streets always win, Mike. I want to run down. You see how Jay's done 15 joints with Pharrell? I want to run down the 6 joints that he did with Primo, Mike, and I want you to understand this. The Evils, Friend or Foe 98, A Million and One Questions, Rhyme No More, Bring It On, So Ghetto, 6 Primo joints with Jay, 6 fucking classics.
I mean, we could even go down the Just Blaze and Kanye lineup too.
Mike. So I don't want to like hear like this whole like Pharrell like talk like that. It's like you didn't have it like that with Jay. Why would I trust you with Push? I can trust Jay and Preem shit more than I can trust you and Jay shit. Because like, and this is what I keep telling people, well, Jay is a better B-side artist.
You left off Change Clothes.
Oh, Mike, we can add Change Clothes. Change Clothes isn't a classic, but it's a dope record.
I like Change Clothes.
Mike, that's still 6 for 16. If you shoot 6 for 16 in a basketball game, are you considered to be a good shooter?
No, not really.
All right then.
What were you saying? I'm sorry. I was gonna piggyback off of something that you were just saying before.
No, this is why I've always said Jay is better at B-sides than making hits. He's actually touch and go with his hits, but when he's on his B-side shit, he almost always knocks it out the park, Mike. Especially when you give him a dope producer that is capable of doing those things. And that's part of the reason why I've always said that Nas is better than Jay, because, well, Nas does the B-sides better than Jay, and that's actually Jay's real strength. Not these hits, because the hits ain't like that, like I keep saying.
That's a fair point. Man said that Front and Ran 2003. Yes, it did. Now, I do like that Pusha T.
That's actually Pharrell's song. That's Pharrell's song.
That was Pharrell's first wasn't that Pharrell's first solo song outside of Nerd? I think so.
Yeah, that was single. Yeah, and that's what I mean. And I just gave that to Jay and Pharrell just because I love that song and I thought it was Mike, when that song came out, I was like, that might be their best pairing.
Somebody said that's Westbrick numbers. This is true. Listen.
6 for 16. Not good. Now, give me 6 for 16, Mike. They 6 for 16, and you push this whole album. I can't trust you at home.
I like the fact that Pusha said that the best songs are the album songs. And so that makes me feel like, and just based on everything that Pusha's saying in these interviews, I feel like Pusha and Kanye are on the same page, even if they're not on the same page. You know what I mean? Like, musically, they're always on the same page, but even if they're not on the same page in life, musically, they're there. Pharrell is, I feel like Pharrell is on some Tyler, the Creator type of shit right now. Respectfully, you know what I mean?
It's respect, but it's like, man, like when you gotta feed the guys sometimes.
It's a coaching thing.
Mike, Hit Boy has done an immaculate job of feeding Nas what he needs and wants at the same damn time.
Exactly. It's like,
this ain't just what you want, nigga. This is what you need.
I always use Shaq for the Lakers as an example, man. Like, feed the big man on the inside where he's comfortable. Don't have Shaq coming out there trying to shoot perimeter shots. What are you doing? Get Shaq down there in the paint. Get the ball to him. Let him do that jump hook or just dunk on somebody. Why are you trying to change this up? Because they already pretty much put it out there that they're not changing subject matter. It's going to be coke rap, right? Because they keep saying this in all these interviews. They keep asking him about being a coke rapper, this and that. It feels like Pharrell's just trying to sonically change this.
Mike, so can I say something? And what I thought was the best part of all the interviews and rollouts that I've seen done for him, when he says they didn't ask Martin Scorsese to make Gone with the Wind, I was like, that's brilliant. Because they don't.
Yeah.
Mike, when Martin Scorsese is coming out with a film, are you expecting it to be touching and heartwarming and inviting? Are you expecting to see the inner workings of the dichotomy of a relationship of American society on a basic level with a family and a wife and a husband and 3 kids? Or are you expecting to see some gangster shit, Mike? What you expecting to see?
I'm going to get to that in a second. And shout out to Ryan Gillum with the super chat. He said, have y'all checked out the Girl Talk album yet? Yeah, we're going to be able to get more into that probably on Friday. Because Wiz has been in the news for a lot anyway. I never really loved when rappers would make the film correlation with musicians.
I love it in this regard.
It's different, but I feel you from a directorial standpoint. It is.
No, I love it in this regard because for 20 years, definitely, people have shown up to see him perform and do what? Now, when you're 20 years into doing something, Mike, and you're still being lauded. As a matter of fact, when the last time you showed up, you were more lauded and applauded than you've ever been. When in any other genre do they ask you to switch it up? Where? Right. That's what he's saying. Where do they ask you to change when you're 20 years in and you're all-time great at it? Like I said, Mike, the link in the chain of this upper echelon lyrical dope boy rap shit goes Cool G Rap, Jay-Z, and then Pusha T. He up high in this talk. It's not, that's what he's saying. He's like, no, I'm not some regular guy making a gangster flick. Like a lot of people make gangster flicks, Mike.
I'm going to get to that in a second. Man says, as much as Push tries, he's not not to reference drugs, he does. Shout out to Jarv in the chat. They say Jarv's getting at us. You're going to have your time on here Friday. We're going to get into some discussions, and I'm probably going to go back after the broadcast and check out all the stuff Jarv is saying in the chat. But shout out to the Rap Roundtable. Y'all do great work. I can't wait to talk. But, all right, this is the thing. And when people pin him to that Coke rap, we've said this before. When we're rating all-time greatness, there's a range that has to be had because even on some Bullyfoot shit, like, let's look at Redman, right? Redman's dope as hell. But if you put him up against somebody like, you know, a Nas or Jay or even a DMX who's covered so many different things on such a high level, it's very tough. And I think what it is with Push, people know how skilled he is as a wordsmith and as a lyricist, that we would like to see those same things applied to other things. I think that's where that's coming from. I don't think people are knocking it because of that. It's like, okay, well, to show that you are next level like we know you are, let's apply that to other things. And I think Ebro addressed that too in the interview. He was like, you know, Dust to Dawn did some of that.
Right. This is what I keep saying. People act like he hasn't gotten poignant on subject matter. That's the stuff that people gloss over when he does it, Mike. That's what I keep trying to say. It's like, no, when he does that, people do not gravitate towards that Pusha T. That's why I was like, no, he got a lot of 4 mic stuff. And most of that stuff is 4 mic stuff because he actually tries to balance it out by sprinkling some of that stuff in. Because if he would just go for his, like he did on Daytona, we probably would have had 2 or 3 albums to compare to Daytona, in my opinion. It's the fact that he came around in a time where he's been taught, and a lot of it is Pharrell to play this industry game where it's like, we'll try to give him 2 or 3 joints or something like that, Pusha, and it actually always ends up hurting his albums, Mike. Yeah. It's never helped his albums.
And you know me, I'm a Neptune fan. I love the Neptunes. I think they're some of the best, if not the best producers in popular culture over the past 30 years. But I have a feeling. I have a bad feeling from all the stuff I'm hearing in the interviews, and I hope I'm proven wrong. I think Pharrell's going to ruin this album.
Mike, and you're saying something strong, and I want people to separate this because here's what's becoming clear to me, even like sound-wise it's becoming clear to me. Chad is more of the guts of the group. And you can hear production-wise on Hell Hath No Fury now. No. The Neptunes produced Hell Hath No Fury. This is Pharrell pushing Pusha T's album.
I agree.
You get what I'm saying? Like, Chad's not there. No, that matters. That matters, Mike. It's just Pharrell. This isn't the Neptunes producing Pusha T. This is Pharrell.
No, it's a big difference.
Not having Chad matters. Chad is the bones.
No, you're right. I've always been able to tell.
No Fury sounds like that. Like those eerie backdrops, those funky, hard-hitting bass lines and synths, that's Chad. That's not Pharrell.
No, you're right. I mean, even when they were talking about how Drop It Like It's Hot was broken down and, you know, what was made and what Chad added to that. Like that doom, 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 doom. That's Chad.
Yeah.
And, you know, think of having that song without that. It might not sound like a big piece, but if you don't have it, it's a big piece.
It's not the same.
It's like not having eyebrows, my nigga. Like, You don't think it's a big deal until they're
No.
gone.
So people need to start understanding these things. That's why I was bringing up the stuff that Pharrell has done with Jay-Z, because Mike, guess what? Most of the high-end stuff is not Pharrell, it's Neptunes. Mike, Give It To Me is the Neptunes. Mike, La 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 is the Neptunes. Mike, Excuse Me Miss is the Neptunes. The three biggest classic songs that Jay did aren't Pharrell songs. They're Neptune songs.
Yeah, no.
Pharrell hasn't proven,
and without Chad, those sound very different.
Pharrell has not proven that he's great at making these records by himself for rappers.
Not on no hip hop shit for the most part. No.
Not Mike. Not like this. Not on the shit that pushed me on.
We don't.
Not on. Not on the Fury. That's what I'm saying. It's important.
Happy's one of the biggest songs of its era. We don't want that for this Pusha T album. But again, I think this is a.
Didn't Pusha T make a comment about like hearing that happy shit? When I told you about that happy shit, Mike.
Yeah, man. But see, that's the thing too. If you're trying to push him to do those things, he's not gonna sound as good on that as he would on some other shit. Because as a producer, man, and obviously Pharrell knows this, he's one of the greatest producers of all time. You're a coach at this point. And if you have your player in a position where you're not able to maximize on their abilities, it's going to sound like that. You know, it's kind of like a Mike D'Antoni type of mentality. Like, we're just going to do this my way no matter what your skill set is. And no matter what the results are.
Yeah, we're going to play it my way. Yeah. I want you to shoot the ball in about 7 seconds. What's defense? Let's see if we can win a championship, even though I haven't won one in 3 decades. All right.
And, you know, and it really makes me think that, I mean, I got to hold Kanye high. When people think about all of the things that were going on with Kanye when he made Daytona, it's fucking remarkable. And I know people will say, Daytona, 7 songs, whatever. He produced this whole album while the whole MAGA hat thing was going on, while he had just done the TMZ interview or whatever. Like, it was a lot going on with Kanye at that time.
Mike, the only thing that the number one thing that Ye did for Daytona was that he just let Push be Push in a way that hadn't happened since Hell Hath No Fury. Like, and people
but he's such a fan and a student of the game that he can hone in to what your strengths are, i.e. B, and make some of your best stuff. He did it with Jay on the Blueprint too. Like, when you think about what Jay was making before that, and it's like, nah, I can come in and make Never Change. I can come in and make Heart of the City. I could come in and flip this door sample, and this is gonna work for Jay. I mean, you got to think at the time, flipping the Doors 5-1 for a Jay-Z song, that wasn't conventional thinking. We think it is now because it worked. This nigga Jay somewhere. I mean, not Jay. This nigga Kanye somewhere else, man.
So Mike, in moments like this, when I'm running down these Jay-Z, Pharrell / Neptunes pairings, the Neptunes is where the classic stuff is at. The Pharrell stuff is where all the mid and all the bad stuff is at. And we're going through somebody like Ye doing B, the Blueprint, Daytona. This is why Ye is in conversation for best hip hop producer of all time, and I don't have Pharrell in my top 10. And people be like, "Oh, well, you bugging?" It's like, no, I'm not bugging. I know what the track record really looks like. When you start breaking down the track record, like if you want to say the Neptunes belong in, we can have a conversation.
Yeah. But that's more so on an overall music thing, not just hip hop. Shout out to Nas the GOAT. He says, Pusha T is talented, but his subject matter has been horrible for 20 years. His lyrical display of everything wrong in black culture. And that's another conversation to have, too, where it's like, do we need coke rap?
No. So you can't say that about him. And this is what I keep saying. All he's done is, that's what I mean, where he's more like Cool G rap. Well, Jay switched it up and started giving you hit records and sprinkling like little shit in. No, he talked the way Jay talked. So like, I don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, Jay has said some more sinister shit on record than like Push has, like misogynistically and dope boy wise. That's why when people be saying, "Oh, he ain't been rapping about anything in 20 years," it's like, no. You love when Jay do dope boy rhyme. Mike, I was going to bring this up. This is some of my notes. Mike, you remember Jay-Z on Threat?
Mm-hmm.
People love it when Jay talk like that. Threat's probably the best lyrical performance on the Black album. When Jay talks like that, it's okay. When Pusha T talks like that, it's like, oh, nah, it's the same thing, fam. That's why I keep on trying to contextualize it. Cool G Rap, Jay-Z, Pusha T. You got to start looking at it relatively the same way in terms of what the subject matter really is.
Shout out to Melanin Man with the super chat. Says, much respect to the hard work, fellas. Pharrell is going to drop some filthy beats on Neck and Wrist. And is any indication. Oh, and Coop, how about those Tar Heels and retired Coach K's ass? Got him out of here.
Who said that?
Melanin Man.
That must be somebody who knows me that knows I'm a Duke fan. That's somebody who knows me, Mike. First of all, I'd rather die in the desert 5 miles from the water than to get on the brink of drinking the water and then literally choke it up and die right in front of the water. Go Duke for life. Fuck your team. All right.
I was just watching that. I hate Christian Laettner 30 for 30. Classic.
It is classic.
All right.
Actually,
Christian Laettner was a soldier, man. I gotta give it to him.
Can I tell you something? Because I've met a lot of Duke and North Carolina players. I'll kick it with North Carolina players every day before I'll kick it with Duke players. I've met some awful acting Duke players in my life, most notably Danny Perry.
You didn't like Christian Laettner? I think Christian Laettner is probably in my personal opinion, the second best Duke player of all time.
He's not the second best Duke player of all time.
I got Grant Hill number one, man. Grant Hill is fucking phenomenal.
Grant Hill is number one. I would probably actually put Jason Williams at number 2, Mike. Jason Williams.
But come on, man. What Christian Laettner did, man.
Yeah, Christian Laettner was good, but he also came. He's the guy that leveled up. He's not the one that got the ball rolling, and people don't realize something. Oh, that team really didn't win shit till Grant Hill showed up on campus. Bobby Hurley and Hold on. They wasn't winning. Christian Laettner and Bobby Hurley wasn't winning shit. So Grant Hill showed up on campus, really. And that's how that story really needs to get told. Jason Williams was arguably one of the 2 or 3 best players in college basketball from the time he stepped on the Duke basketball court. Like from the time he stepped on the court. He was
Christian
one of the
Laettner
best
was
players.
a winner, man. Jarve talking about Kyrie. Kyrie didn't even play at Duke.
First of all, Kyrie played 13 games, but as far as Lord Legend, I've been following Kyrie since high school in Jersey. I used to read his newspaper clippings every morning. Yeah. I'm that kind of Duke fan.
All right, so are we going to end this Pusha T thing? Man, I want to get to this countdown.
Yeah. I mean,
you have some more notes as it pertains to that? Because we still haven't gotten a date. Now, he did say that Malice is on the album, which I think is dope. We're talking about 12 songs, so we already know Jay on the album. We know Malice is on the album. I would venture to say Kanye might be on the album, right?
Well, Mike, okay, so if it's 12 songs, and we've heard 3, or is it 2? I know we've heard 3 songs. 2. Is Hear Me Clearly not going to be on this album?
I don't think Hear Me Clearly is on the album. I mean, I guess I'm assuming because it was on the Nico joint, but...
We got Diet Coke and Neck and Wrist, right?
Yeah.
So we got 10 more records to hear?
5 more from Pharrell, supposedly. At least that's what they're telling us.
Okay, Mike.
And 5 more from Kanye and 88 Keys, maybe. I don't know. But
So 7 of these next 10 tracks need to be better than what we heard for at least to be considered better than Daytona. You understand that, right?
I think the fact that it's bebetter than Daytona is out. That's not happening. It's not better than Daytona. They're not even saying it. The people who've listened to it aren't even saying it.
Because the first 2 that we've heard wouldn't even make Daytona, really, in my opinion, like that. Like I told you, it's like Neck and Wrist would be the 6th best song on Daytona.
Neck and Wrist, I think the only song on Daytona that I think, Comeback Baby is probably the only song that I would say Neck and Wrist is better than on Daytona. I don't think that Neck and Wrist is better than Infrared. I don't think Neck and Wrist is better than Santeria. Hard Piano, If You Know, You Know. The Games We Play.
No. What Would Meek Do?
What Would Meek Do? No.
Bag of Heads, Let Me Slide Like a Drive-Through. No, he don't got no shit like Mike.
Listen,
That's
man,
what
I won't feel right till I feel like Phil Knight. Going for
Mike.
6 rings like what Phil told Mike. Listen, y'all could talk all that stuff about
Mike,
Jay's verse that y'all want. Kanye's verse on What Will Meek Do is smashing that verse. And that's
Mike,
just the truth.
Mike. 7 pill nights. You know what that feels like? No more hiding my scars. I show them like seal, right? Mike, that's one of the best verses of his career.
Straight up.
And
then you factor in the timing of it all too.
Mike, timing's impeccable, Mike.
Yeah.
And I love the timing of the moment because, hey, people don't understand how great Ye is in the moment. It's like that's a moment, and he time capsuled it with one of his best moments as a MC. That's what, like, Daytona's one of his finest moments as an executive producer, but MC-wise, that verse is one of his finest moments, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's everything about that verse is everything that really made you fall in love with Kanye to begin with. It's just the adult version of it. So he's making you deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I like it.
Everything Ye say causes a new debate.
It's too bad. Got a surrogate his kid, did 2 dads. I be thinking, what would Tupac do?
You be thinking what New Kids on the Block do. I mean, yeah, he was.
Yeah, he's spazzing on there, Mike.
Okay, so yeah, this album has a long way to go when it comes to expectations, but I think the 2 songs that we've heard so far are dope.
So,
I don't know what else they're holding off for. I don't think we're gonna get a single. I think Neck and Wrist is the closest to a single we're gonna get, but again, I don't know if Pharrell has like one of those When the Last Time type of records in his bag or something.
I love When the Last Time, by the way.
I like it too.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's not, it didn't seem like Pusha T liked it when Rosenberg brought it up.
Mike, that record banged. That helped that album a whole lot. That album was dope. And that song was dope. So, but I get what he's saying. That's really not his style.
Yeah. If they got a Mr. Me Too in the bag, great.
Right. Mr. Me Too is more his style.
Yeah.
When the Last Time is more Malice style.
Yeah.
But, what I will say is that, and here's maybe more fair expectations of this album. What's his solo material look like before this as far as albums go? He's got My Name Is My Name.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got Dark As Before Dawn.
I think it's gonna be better than those.
And he's got Daytona. And so I think it's gonna be better than My Name Is My Name and Dark As Before Dawn, but not as good as Daytona. And what that really probably gives him, well, he's gonna have a classic album, a great album, and 2 good albums. Not a lot of rappers have that either. And then if you start factoring in Lord Willing, Hell Hath No Fury, Until the Casket Drops, it's like, well, then that...
Yeah.
And
I think what he's aiming for is album of the year. And another thing that stuck out to me too is the fact that he wants to continuously be more frequent in the game and coming out more frequently. Unlike somebody like, who hadn't come out in 5 years or whatever in the prime of their career.
Like his prime's ending. That's why I told you. It's like, if he's in year number 12 of his solo career, it's like, I'm probably going to play at this level for about another 5 to 7 years.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to get maybe another 2 to 3 projects at this level unless people more regularly start pulling the whole Nas KD 1-2 Magic thing.
Well, Kendrick Lamar's Damn album is celebrating its 5th anniversary tomorrow. So we might get a Kendrick album on Friday.
Is it April Fool's still? No, we're past April Fool's Day.
We're past April. Yeah, it's April 13th. Sorry, that was a late April Fool's joke, guys.
Hold on, you want to know what, Mike?
What's that?
Easter is this Sunday. He's going to come back on Easter Sunday.
Right. From the grave. Right. Shout out to Jay Short with the super chat. He says, I don't get the subject matter argument in hip-hop. Groups like AC/DC have been talking about the same thing for 40 years, and their fans still enjoy it.
No, that's why I said, Mike, this is the only genre where it's like, no, let's not do that. We can do better. But then people run around and call Jay-Z the GOAT. And it's like,
I think Tupac started that, man.
But no, how are you going to take issue with subject matter and crown Jay? That's why I keep telling people, it's like, that's Dope Boy Extraordinaire. He's Dope Boy Extraordinaire. And misogynistic all the way up until the point that he started dating Beyonce, like the most misogynistic rapper until he started dating
what makes
B.
you say that? What makes him more misogynistic than other average MCs?
like, fuck if your leg broke, bitch. Hop up on your good foot.
It's pimping talk. Yeah.
Okay. You know why? Fuck 'em, love 'em, leave 'em, because I don't fucking need 'em.
Yeah. And then you got to
Going
do it
on?
again and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right. 6 a.m. I be kicking her out. 7 a.m. I'm gonna call my friends. 12 a.m. Mike, what we gonna do? We gonna do it
do it
again.
again.
Right, Mike.
Well, it's a decent segue. It's a decent segue. So, what?
Like, ho, get your ass in.
And let's ride.
Okay, but we want to care about subject matter when it comes to Pusha T, but we want to ignore the most misogynistic guy to ever touch the mic. Okay.
Well,
Mike,
with that being said, what?
Mike, on In My Lifetime, remember the video to In My Lifetime before he even had his deal? Like, he's been this misogynistic guy before he was even major. That's what I'm saying. It's like, how you gonna sit up there and talk about this content shit and then call Jay to go? And then be like, but he uses great literary devices. Yeah, misogynistically against women, and talks about selling dope on a major level and murdering niggas too. But that's okay when it's Jay. Let Pusha T do this shit and it's a problem. It's so whack.
It's all about who you like, right? The Truest says, shout out to the Truest with the super chat. He says 3,000 body Nas on that cop shot the kid, right? I don't even remember 3,000's verse. I remember it leaked.
Kanye?
And, huh?
You mean Kanye on cop shot?
No, there's a version of with 3,000 was on there or something.
Is there? Was that like a real actual version?
I think so. But who knows with 3,000? Who knows?
Well, Mike, actually, I want to get to that in a second. Hold on, where are we going now?
We were going to go to the not top five. So we were going to go to Jay-Z's wackest 5 songs and Nas's wackest 5 songs.
Right, I'm glad we're there because we've been hearing a lot in our chat, once again, about these literary devices, and a lot of people have been making claims about Jay's usage of literary devices, you know, being like some sort of tipping scale in terms of him being the greatest MC of all time.
Well, hold. Leroy Green brings up a good point. He says Biggie wasn't misogynistic.
Huh?
He said Biggie wasn't misogynistic.
Yes.
He was.
Did you ever? Yes. But Biggie also talked from the perspective of saying things like, my mother has cancer in her breast. Don't ask me why I'm motherfucking stressed. Or he talked in relationship about, you know, doing stuff for his daughter, too. Like, he actually had some human qualities to him where he wasn't just fucking a bunch of bitches and leaving them on the side of the road like Jay-Z did in his records for 6 years. But keep on using that big shit. All right. Now that we got that cleared away, see how people be you see how people will fight for Jay and even drag Big into it? You feel what I'm saying?
It's Leroy Green, man. It's probably Memphis Bleak out there.
Mike, I don't. First of all, I'm a bunch of Leroy's real name.
Listen, I'm trying to get to the brunch, man. I'm trying to. I mean, Pusha T said the brunch was a bunch of fun, and it was one of the best times ever. I'm just trying to get there.
What they have, like a little tuna tartare? You know, like how they have it? I mean, I like a little tuna tartare, a little vino noble. You know.
Leroy Green's even saying Nas was misogynistic as well. Let me ask you this: which one do you want to start with?
Hold on. Nas can be misogynistic, and so can Tupac. But there's also this thing called balance. It can also be very uplifting and positive.
Is it Black Girl Lost or Shorty Owe You for Ice?
No. And part of being a great MC sometimes is being contrary or contradictory. Like, no, Jay-Z pretty much was a misogynist and then got married and shut the fuck up about it. That's not contrary or contradictory. That's just kind of like, it's like, oh yeah, let me act like that's not happening because I'm a hustler.
What do you think about Too Short in those terms then?
I mean, Too Short that's Too Short's claim to fame though, isn't it?
Okay, but also, it still doesn't make it. You know.
Oh, but Too Short's not held up high in this business as the greatest MC of all time now, is he?
That's fair.
And Mike, if you want to know why, content and subject matter have a lot to do with that. Because Short's actually really dope on the mic. And actually, if you were to meet Short like I have a couple times, actually really nice dude.
What do you think about Eminem in those terms? Or does he just not count? Because I would say that he's probably the most extreme misogynist. Eminem clearly hates women in his music.
Right. I mean, that's more like a psychosis and emotional and not really rooted in reality. Jay's misogyny is rooted in the reality of his life. That's why I brought up in my life.
Not rooted in reality. He's talking about real people and real
No. I mean, he's
situations.
talking. No, Mike. He's also talking about some things that aren't real and fantasize and imagine for the sake of shock value, like throwing his baby mama in the trunk and driving to a dock and dropping her off in it.
I think that's a little bit crazier, in my opinion.
No, Mike. It's crazier, but it's not rooted in reality. Jay's misogyny is rooted in reality. Go look at In My Lifetime, Volume 1, the song and the video. That's what I'm saying. This isn't Gus the guy that talks misogynistically. No. It's living the shit that he was talking. And we like the real in hip hop, right? We weigh the real more heavy than the fake, right?
The answer says y'all never stay on topic. Let's get back to topic. So
Mike,
which one do you want to do first?
Because we talking about Nas and Jay, and I want to get to these literary devices right quick. I told you I had sidebar notes today.
Okay.
So we can be off topic. So Mike.
So that was on topic.
Right, so it was on topic. Mike, this use of literary devices being the determinant factor has to stop. Literary devices inherently does not make for brilliant records. Let me show you two great records from both of these gentlemen where the literary devices are not at their zenith, but at some of their best stuff. Do you think Jay-Z is using a lot of literary devices on imaginary plays? And now you got these young cats acting like they slum cats, all in their dumb raps, talking about how they fun stat. When I see him in the streets, you get what I'm saying? The literary device isn't high, Mike, with some of his best stuff. Mike, is Nas using a lot of literary devices on Made You Look? Now let's get it all in perspective. But all y'all enjoyment a song y'all can step with.
Mike, I don't get into all of that, man. Like if it bangs, it bangs. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm trying to say. No, Mike, because people coming in here defending Jay-Z keep making it seem like the literary device is like some sort of make-all, be-all. And what I'm saying is that like a literary device and the usage of it in an astounding way doesn't mean that the results are astounding. Mike, go listen to I Know off American Gangster. The literary devices are at his zenith. The song isn't even one of his 30 best songs. The usage of literary devices doesn't inherently mean that the rapper is greater, because the song would be greater thereby with the usage of literary devices if that's the case. And that's why I wanted to bring up two songs.
Well, there's a lot of factors in making a great hip-hop record, you know what I'm saying?
Right, and literary devices is at a minimal of it, is what I'm saying.
JC88 says that female rappers are misogynist towards men all the time.
No. They're playing the game that we gave them. Don't ever say no bullshit like that. Like they're literally playing the game that we gave them. That's some bullshit. Next. Like that's some bullshit.
Like how the fuck? I mean, I see where you're coming from. And
Mike,
I see how it could be. I can see how it could be viewed in that way. And I see what you're saying.
How did James Brown song go? How long this been going on? We're not about to have a conversation about whose world this is and who's running it and who's really setting the tone about the games being played.
Well, let me ask you this then.
These women would not talk and behave this way if they weren't already over-sexualized and misogynized by the men in the spectrum. Period. Point blank. That shit is not up for discussion. The shit is not up for discussion about why the women talk the way they do. The women behave the way they do because the men do first. Period. Ain't no fucking skipping around that shit. This is that childish shit that I be talking about that goes on in hip hop that we have to grow the fuck up from.
So all right, so what would you advise? I guess
I'd advise them to shut the fuck up.
No. That's not where I'm going. What would you advise a female MC that's coming out like somebody like a Rhapsody, right? And then you got somebody like a Nicki or let's just say Mulatto or whatever.
I love what Lotto doing because you know what Lotto's playing the cards that she was dealt by these fucked up ass men and their ideas about sex, beauty, and imagery. She playing their game, not hers.
But that's the thing though. At what point do you make it your game? Is it possible?
Lauryn Hill tried that shit. It didn't work. Next.
Well, did she?
Yes. Yeah. Mike, did you see the Unplugged? Have you seen?
No, I'm just saying as a rapper, did she? I feel like Lauryn just walked away from it.
Why would that be?
I think Lauryn went and made an R&B album instead of making a rap album.
Mike, why did Lauryn step away? You know I haven't defended her much, but could it be all these, I don't know, over-sexualizations and misogynist things that she was seeing going on that she did not want to partake in and contribute to? Okay, then.
What's
I
the
don't believe
answer? I guess I'm all in the solution business.
Hold
What's
on,
the
hold on.
answer?
Part of the answer is guys like that made that comment need to go check them fucking selves first. That's the first thing that needs to happen. That's like
because they're mentioning city girls in the chat.
Self-audit and accountability, like by the men in the spectrum who run it, needs to happen first. And Mike, I'll tell you flat out, that's part of the reason why Jay-Z will never be number one to me, though. And why Biggie's not number one to me either, because what they offer, this culture, in terms of content, how can I clearly put you at number one? That's why I tell you, Mike, Tupac is the logo, because he's an accurate representation of everything that's right and wrong.
Jay Short with the super chat says, "Money is my B" is on I Am. Was a literary device. No one's saying that's a great song. Jay-Z fans need to stop.
It's terrible. Money is my bitch. Like, how about this, Mike? That was on the original version of I Am. That was the only record on the original version of I Am that I had that I didn't care for.
Well, there we go. Shout out to everybody in the room. We're about to get to this top 5. We got like this little segment since, we've been doing top 5s. We figured we would do one live on the show. I knew 444 was going to come up in the chat. But appreciate everybody out there that went out there and got the yearbook. If you need to go get the yearbook, we would love for you to, go cop that. Make sure you have a physical copy. We got the link to the yearbook at the top of the chat. It should be pinned to the top. And we want to hear from the people who got the yearbook and see what they're thinking about it, too. You want to start with Nas or you want to start with Jay? Because you just gave Jay the business. I think we need to start with Nas.
I didn't give Jay the business. I give the people defending Jay and trying to act like that 6-7 year run of nothing but misogynistic and over-sexualization of lyrics against women didn't happen. Tupac made Keep Your Head Up. Nas made Black Girl Lost. They provided some sort of balance and insight to show that they weren't trifling ass niggas. Next.
All right. Well, what Coop and I did, man, we did the not so top 5. So this hurt me to do, but we did top 5. I would say, you want to say wackest or weakest? Weakest, wackest, misses.
I don't know if it's the wackest. I think it might be weakest because of the perspective. I don't know exactly what your perspective of.
There was a couple. All right, there was a couple on my list, and let me get to my list first. Right, I got Summer on Smash at 5. I got You Owe Me at 4. I got Big Things from I Am. I hate that song at 3.
I hate that song.
I got Braveheart Party at 2, and I got Who Killed It at number 1. Now
Mike, we got comparable list.
Yeah, we got the same number 2 and 1. And we worked together when we put this together. But I want to tell you, I saw your list. The ones that didn't make it for me was Hero, and Hip Hop Is Dead, actually.
Mike,
I didn't like Hip Hop Is Dead because Thief's Theme was just before it, right? And it was, I didn't like it. It's not a bad song. I just didn't like it.
So, Mike,
I left it off.
I tried to contextualize this, like, from the perspective of, like, well, how bad is the song inherently?
People are saying Dr. Knockboot should have made the list. I thought about it.
Dr. Knockboot is borderline. I'm going to tell you why Dr. Knockboot didn't make the list. The beat for his time is kind of dope and good to dance to. People forget Dr. Knockboot was actually getting some airplay, and if I'm not mistaken, it's the B-side that Nas is like.
It is.
Yeah, because Hate Me Now is B-side is Blazer 50. Nas is like a B-side is Dr. Knockboot. Understand, DJs were playing Dr. Knockboot, and girls were dancing to it, and I remember that shit, and that's the only reason. That song is awful, okay? Mike, I'm with you on Big Things. I was like, who told Nas to rap like this? Tell them to stop telling him to rap like this.
Big Things, man. It sounded like he was chasing the song the whole time. Like he never caught up to the beat. It's hard to listen to.
Mike, I don't even know who in their right mind co-signed that and let that come out. Like, they must have really been pressed for time. Like, Mike, when I hear Big Things, I was like, okay, so that's the last song you recorded.
Big Things.
So that's awful. Now, Mike, on my list, and here's what I mean. Here's how
let me get to your list real quick. I'm going to put it on the screen. I'll let you go through your list. This is what Coop's list was. Hero at 5.
Mike, you want to know why I chose that? Because when we start with Hero,
Yeah, go ahead.
Mike, I forgot that he had even made this song, and then I remembered this was supposed to be the first single.
It was
Off
the Untitled album.
Like, what is this?
Well, that was kind of like where I was going with the hip hop, and that was kind of where I was going with that too, because I had that on my list. But Hip Hop Is Dead as well, where it was like you have this build up for Nas getting on Def Jam. Hip Hop Is Dead is such a bold statement, and then you reuse the same sample from Thief's Theme from the previous first single, and then got Will I Am over here singing whatever. But Hero. I remember this. And me and my boy Brandon laugh about this all the time. I remember Nas being on 106 in Park back in the day. He had Carrie Hilson on the hook. He didn't even know her name when he was on the couch. And shout out to Polo the Don who produced this, man. It just wasn't a good mix, man.
No, Mike, no. Polo deserves shouts out. Not for this beat. First of all, Mike, there's a few reasons why this is coming in at number 5 like it is. One, the beat's not any good. Neither are the vocals on the hook. Neither is Nas. Neither is the message, Mike. This is on the In album where you're supposed to be trying to spread a message. And here's what I really don't like about it. When has he ever played himself up, especially for a single, for radio? Hero? Who? You've been the people's champ. Like, you. What are you doing? What are you doing? Who told you to make this? Who told you to make this? Put this shit away.
So you got KISSI and G on there. So Mike, people don't understand that. Why you got that on the list?
Mike, why is that on I Am? What is that song about, Mike? See, here's the thing. At least Dr. Not Boot, you want to talk about some intellectual property? At least Dr. Not Boot is thought through on some sort of level. Like, what is this? This is the epitome of him not trying as an artist. This song is awful. What is this song about?
Man says World Go Round with Chris Brown in the Game was the worst. Yeah, I didn't think that song was that bad. Big Girl. Let's get to Big Girl, because some people said that when I had my list up.
Man, Big Girl is awful, Mike. That was the moment where I was like, okay, this nigga might have fell off. That was the song. Like, you can listen to Nostradamus, Mike. Like, Nostradamus, if I'm not mistaken, goes Life We Chose. Nostradamus. Project Window?
Yeah.
No. Some of Us Have Angels. Some of Us Have Angels is pretty solid. Project Window. Come and Get Me. Shoot 'Em Up. Last Words.
Mm-hmm. Last Words is awesome.
Last Words is awesome. Family is some mid, even though that's Havoc and P and Nas.
Shout out to Miss LB with the $10 super chat. She said Salam Remy said on Vlad that Nas used the beat twice to make fun of how hip hop was dead. Okay. I do remember hearing that, but still.
No, Mike. No. Big Girl was just whack, Mike. You're a big girl. Like, it was just terrible, Mike. Because you want to know who did a much better job? Ghostface on Fish Scale. You know Ghostface, Big Girl on Fish Scale? That's how you take that sample and freak that sample and fuck with that song.
Diesel said Big Girl is my number 1 worst. I guess I skipped over that one, man. You know what? Because on my list, I had Summer on Smash. I was conflicted with that. I just hate that song. You know what I mean? You Owe Me. I want to explain myself because some people are saying You Owe Me wasn't that bad.
The hook is You Owe Me isn't bad.
My thing is, man, I don't like what You Owe Me represents. And I think also when you look at Timbaland and where Timbaland was at that time, and this is the Timbaland collaboration, and this is Nas, nah, man.
Now, Mike, I'm gonna give Nas some credit on You Owe Me for his parts on the hook. You know, Owe Me Back like 48 because you know what I mean? And literally that is the only reason I didn't take it on there. Now, I just have to be honest with you. I haven't felt really the same about Timbaland since he gave Nas You Won't See Me Tonight and You Owe Me, because I'm like, well, these are your throwaway tracks.
I listened to You Won't See Me Tonight today, too. I left it off because, I didn't want to disrespect, Aaliyah like that. But, yeah.
It's a trash. Like, it's not any good either.
It's a bad song. I should have had Big Girl on my list.
Big Girl's terrible.
I really should have had that. But you and I had the same number 2 and number 1, Braveheart Party.
Well, Mike, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about Braveheart Party.
Braveheart Party kept Stillmatic from being arguably the best album of his career, in my estimation.
Straight up.
Straight up and down. Like
Mariah,
I tell you,
not Mariah. Mary J. Blige sounds out of it on that record.
Mike, and the thing about it that's really so awful is literally this, Mike. It's the sequence of it, and I mean this sincerely. For those of us that know this, Stillmatic is his best 10-song run in a row, from 1 to 10 since Illmatic, which is actually just a 9-song run. And then you get the track 11, because you have to understand, when you're listening to Stillmatic for the first time, and you get the track 10, like when the Flyest with AZ is going off, you're like, I think this nigga is making the greatest rap album of all time again. And then party comes.
You going out, Coop? You hear me?
Like that.
Hold on, you hear me?
Never been a crash.
You were going out for a second. You said Braveheart Party
on
comes
my
up.
side.
Okay, yeah, it might be on my side.
Yeah. Braveheart Party comes and it crashes all immediately.
Those are my sentiments as well, because Braveheart Party stopped the flow of a whole album.
Mike, it's literally epic up into that point. You're like, Mike, think about this. Got Yourself a Gun is the weakest song from tracks 1 to 10.
I don't like Got Yourself a Gun either, but I'm not gonna call it whack. But yeah.
No, I said weakest song. I said
no. You're right. I'm just saying.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Got Yourself a Gun is a good record. It's not great.
Yeah.
It's good. That's the weakest song of the first 10 records you hear, Mike.
Yeah,
Ether's on there. The Stillmatic intro. You're the Man. Rewind. One Mike. Destroy and Rebuild. The Flyest with AZ. Mike. Second Childhood with Primo. Mike. It's epic.
Dope record.
And then Braveheart Party comes on, Mike.
Is Second Childhood the last time they collaborated?
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay. And our number one is Who Killed It?
Mike, you got to be pretty bad to beat Braveheart Party. But this song does that. Just quite frankly, you got to be bad to beat Braveheart Party. And this is...
I feel like on Who Killed It, like he was like joking or something. Like,
well, Mike, he told people it was like parody, like satire. I don't give a shit. Whack is whack.
Yeah, that was bad.
It's like being a misogynist is being a misogynist. Being whack on the mic is being whack on the mic for some. Oh, I was trying to do this. Nobody cares. It sucked. Next.
What are some of the songs that y'all think we missed on this top worst list, or did we get it? Because I don't see much stuff that people are saying that we missed.
I didn't.
People are saying Smoking is the weakest. I'm not mad at that because I wasn't a big fan of Smoking like that.
No, I think Smoking is better than Got Yourself a Gun personally.
I do too, but they're
like the West Coast home. I keep telling you, like that was for the West Coast homies. The West Coast homies like Smoking. Like he was doing that for his West Coast homies. Like the West Coast homies fuck with Smoking.
Yeah, people are saying Who Killed It is hilarious. That sounds like when we were talking about player haters on, Life After Death.
Player haters is funny and entertaining. Who Killed It is whack.
When I first heard Who Killed It, because it comes before Black Republican, I think, or after, one of the two.
Before.
I'm sitting here like, what in the world is this, man?
No, Mike. I was real close to Blunt Ashes being on there.
I was close to Blunt Ashes being on there too, but I think the concept kept me away from it.
Mike, Big Things was close to being on mine too.
Yeah.
I kept all the lost tape stuff out because I just felt like, well, it's lost tape stuff. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep the album stuff. And Mike, this is what I mean.
Somebody says Simple Things from Nasir. Yeah.
No. Simple Things is a solid record. I don't think that's whack. I Am, to me, is more of a tragedy in Nostradamus because, to be honest with you, Nostradamus just doesn't have a New York State of Mind Part 2 or a Nas's like. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have anything to lift up those whack-ass moments like You Owe Me and Big Girl, or the fact that the track masters totally ruined Nasheem Myrick's real version of Project Window. Did you get the version of Project Window that I sent you, Mike, with the real beat?
No, yeah. It's dope.
Shit is much better, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Doesn't not he sound more in pocket and comfortable over that loop?
He does.
Yeah. Right.
I hate when stuff like that happens. You know what I mean?
Yes. So there are moments like that on Nostradamus, and Big Girl is just trash. But there's more trash overall on I Am. It's just a high-end moment, save it. Like Favor for a Favor helps save Big Things. New York State of Mind 2 helps save Kissing. Nas is Light helps save We Will Survive. These songs aren't good.
Rigorol says, "Who Killed It was a concept song as a
I don't.
cop. It's
Once
creative."
again, Mike, I don't care if it's a concept. If you use literary devices at an all-time zenith, I don't care if your vernacular is spectacular at an all-time high. If the shit is whack,
Whack
it is
is
just
whack.
whack. Who
Well,
gives a fuck about a concept or a literary device when it doesn't sound good? Does it sound good? Because that's what music is about first. Do I like what I hear? Well, he's trying to do this. When you have to start explaining songs in order to get people to like them, we're supposed to argue about songs we already love.
well, the execution matters, right? Like, there's a lot of things, and as an artist yourself, like, you put down certain things on paper, like, okay, I want this to turn out like this, and sometimes when you actually put it down, it doesn't turn out like that.
Mike,
So execution is a big part of something becoming what it needs to become.
Mike, that's why I bring up Jay-Z on Threat, because it's like, oh, if you want to talk about some literary devices being used and wielded at a high level to give him some GOAT conversation argument, go to stuff like that. People be dropping stuff in the chat, and I'm like, that's not even classic shit from him. That's not one of his classic songs. It's like, go to the stuff that he's classic at where he's displaying these things.
Nas the GOAT says Zone Out was worse than Braveheart Party. I've seen Zone Out in the chat a lot.
I can take some Zone Out. The beat the Zone Out's way better than Braveheart Party.
I need to go check Zone Out.
No. The beat the Zone Out. To be honest with you, the problem with
people
Zone
don't
Out
like Zone Out. People are saying Zone Out wrecks Godson for me. Yeah?
No, it doesn't wreck it because, well, quite frankly, Hey Nas is on there right after.
Ooh, Hey Nas. I left that one out. That's a bad one.
Hey Nas is on there. Zone Out and Hey Nas. See, both of those songs, see, how about this? Hey Nas just isn't good. Zone Out's just Braveheart's aren't good.
I'm going to take You Owe Me off, and I'm putting Big Girl on my list.
That's cool. I think you should do that.
Okay.
You Owe Me is palatable. It's palatable. You can eat that. You can digest You Owe Me.
Okay. I think that's fair. But again, I want to preference this with saying these guys have had amazing careers, and you've been recording for over 30 years and constantly putting out material. You're going to have some misses. That's why they're the greatest ever, Between Jay and Nas, that's why they're the greatest ever, because they have so much material and have been consistent over such a period of time. But you got to have some songs that are not so great. And with that being said, let's go to Jay-Z. This is my top 5 worst Jay-Z records.
Right.
At number 5, I went Picasso Baby. I don't have to go and explain too much of that. I think I've done that on previous shows enough. Reminder from the Blueprint 3 was number 4 on my list. Too Many Hoes was number 3 on the Blueprint 2.
That was good, Mike. That was good.
That was pretty bad. I listened to that a couple of times today. Like,
no.
That's bad.
I mean, that was a good selection by you.
Oh, no, I know what you meant.
Yeah, that was a good choice.
Number 2, Hollywood, featuring Beyonce from Kingdom Come. And number 1 worst Jay-Z song I think I've ever heard was What They Gonna Do, featuring Sean Paul from the Blueprint 2.
Oh, those are excellent Jay-Z choices. I'm glad that you
really this is what I will say, man. The ones that that almost made it, I would say. Girl's Best Friend, I hated that record.
I didn't mind that record.
From the Blue Street. But I know people like that record. I wasn't going to put that down. Again, he was actually doing some of the things that you're talking about he did on I Know on that record when talking about the diamond
devices and the contextualization.
Yeah. I thought about S. Carter from Volume 3. It's a very bad song.
You really don't like S. Carter, do you?
No. Pop for Rock was bad too, but the fact that it really wasn't all him, I kind of just was like, I'll leave that on.
I don't know if S. Carter is bad enough to crack the bottom 10, Mike, to be honest with you. I think he has 10 records worse than S.
What do you think about the song Hate from the Blueprint 3?
Hate with Ye?
Yeah.
I like Hate. You don't like Hate?
I like Kanye's part. He didn't sound comfortable on there. So, I mean, again, I thought that was more of a personal, not like...
No, I like that. Ballin', bitches, eating y'all food, eating dishes. Why I never hear him talking clear part yet? Yeah.
I guess it just never connected with me. I left it off.
I don't even want
But Somewhere in America's bad.
No, he's tight on Hater. I loved him on Hate actually. Yeah. No, I enjoyed that.
Jay Short says S. Cardoff Volume 3 was 2011 LeBron. I don't know what that means, but
I think that's he choked it up to the man.
And the song Versus that was on Holy Grail. Somebody said y'all forgot about Girls, Girls, Girls. Let me go to your list.
First of all, Girls, Girls, Girls is a dope record.
It is. Now, you know what? You got Young Forever on here. I'm with you. I never liked that song.
I'm about to say we're working in reverse, but yeah, that's my number one.
But no. I was just wanting to point that out. So you got Hollywood at number 5.
I was really just doing that to be nice, so we didn't have to be too disrespectful to his wife and keep this on some rap shit. That song's awful.
Justify My Thug at 4.
So I'm gonna tell you part of my rationale for this.
Okay. Because I like Justify My Thug, actually.
I don't, and I'm gonna tell you why. Well, we know that you can ride a West Coast beat really well. We know that you're arguably the most versatile MC of all time or in that conversation. This is your only pairing with DJ Quick. I think both of you guys mailed this one in. Both, like, that's a 7 beat, that's a 7 performance by both of them, and I'm gonna dock them both for not making it a point to make this record better because they're better than that, and this was supposedly his retirement album, and all the other pairings for me fit more seamlessly than this one, and even if the pairing didn't fit, he made sure he outperformed it, i.e. Moment of Clarity.
I agree with that. Listen, and I think there's a lot of credence to what you said because the Fade to Black DVD from back in the day kind of took you on the journey of him creating this project. And we never got any type of stories, footage, or anything about how him and Quick came together with this, what that creating was like. So it does feel like it might have been just dialed in because, you know the moment that he, did 99 Problems when he went over to Rick Rubin's house and, we found the beat for Dirt Off Your Shoulders, Timbaland. We had Pharrell in the studio. You had Kanye giving him lines for Lucifer and stuff. And DJ Quick, who's a legend, we have nothing documented of that, or at least how that even came together. So it makes you feel like it was dialed
in. And listen to what I'm about to say. This is why I highlighted this song. I think if this
somebody in the chat said Leroy Green is Jay-Z. Go ahead. Yes, what you say?
If he is Leroy Green, guess what? Invite me to the front so I can scare all your favorite rappers. They don't want to get an interview with people. Anyway, Mike, what I'm trying to say is that if Justify My Thug is really what it's supposed to be, like if it's the record they're capable of making together, I think you can make an argument that the Black Album is as good as the Blueprint. Because I don't think the Black Album is that far behind the Blueprint. Because when you listen to the Black Album, Mike, what more can I say? Dirt Off Your Shoulders, Threat, 99 Problems, Lucifer, Allure, my first song. No, Mike, he got actually
on that.
He got just as much heat on there as he do on the Blueprint, if not more. And so this song for me could have been one of those tip the scale moments where you actually say, well, actually, song for song, you got more songs that are better on the Black Album than on the Blueprint. And I think you still kind of have a valid argument for that. I think this is the song that could have pushed it over the line. But this would have pushed it over the line had they done their job with this record.
You think so? I think the Moment of Clarity record is the one that holds it back.
But no, Mike, because lyrically, that's one of his better moments. That's why I say this is the record. There's nothing that you remember lyrically about him on this song. There's nothing about this song beat-wise that says DJ Quick gave Jason fire.
I agree. You're right. I mean, the bars aren't there.
He got the common sense line on Moment of Clarity, Mike. That's big.
Yeah. You're right. There are memorable bars in the whole, Talib Kweli, lyrically, I beat Talib Kweli. He fought against that bad production on Moment of Clarity. And I'm not doing this to beat up on Eminem or anything, but let's just be real. You got Ninth Wonder on Threats, and then you get this beat. And then the next beat is 99 Problems. Then you got PSA. Track-wise, this doesn't even fit in the stratosphere. So the fact that he fought against the bad production on Moment of Clarity and gave us memorable moments on it, I agree with you. Even though I do think Justify My Thug is a better song than Moment of Clarity, Just I'd rather listen to it other than Moment of Clarity, but I do think Moment of Clarity is more valuable to the album than Justin
Yeah,
by My Thug is.
he's so great on Moment of Clarity. He's
Yeah,
great. He's great on Moment of Clarity. He's not great on Justice for My Thug.
yeah. Okay. And so you got I Know What Girls Like. No. I skipped
Reminder.
Reminder. Reminder's number 3. I think Reminder was number 3 for both of us. Now I had Reminder at number 4. Reminder's just trash.
Pretty much. I don't
And
know what else to say.
and when I
It's a
listen to Reminder, it sounds like he's trying to do some things that are going on currently.
I thought the J.
That
Cole
were going on at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I thought the
Like,
J. Cole record was more like that. The Every Day a Star is Born. I thought that was him trying to be kind of. I thought that was more sound wise what was going on at the time. But I could see why you might feel that way.
I mean, just delivery wise.
Okay.
It sounded like he was trying to kind of do what some of the rappers were doing at that time. Every Day a Star is Born is an interesting record in the sense where it sounds like it's a slight to everyone who came before him.
It is. It's cheap.
But it's interesting. What did he say about Nas on Every Day a Star is Born? Did he say anything? It was like
he said I had to bootleg the Illmatic. It was so ahead. Shit was so ill. Thought we was all dead. Something like that. No,
I remember.
Yeah.
Jay Short says, "Hey Poppy, Paper Chase, at Volume 2, excuse me."
Paper Chase with Foxy.
I think Paper Chase was underwhelming.
I think it's underwhelming, but it's not a bad song.
Nah, it's not a bad song. I mean, the fact that it's Timbaland and Jay, I think, in their catalog of music, I think it was underwhelming. Okay. And so you got I Know What Girls Like at number 2.
So let me explain the rationale of this. And I told you, like, those singles on Volume 1 ruined Volume 1. But I'm really talking about this song. Sunshine isn't as bad as people think that it is.
I listened to Sunshine today. It's not.
It's not as bad. Had Philippine thing for now. Let's call her Suki. Got me booty banging. No, he's
the production on Sunshine is dope too. The hook, and I love Babyface, but Babyface has never really been great on hip hop songs.
The hook is out of place and sounds dated even for the time. And yeah, but Jay is in pocket in there. The City Is Mine is not a bad song. It's just not a good song.
I like The City Is Mine. I actually like the chorus to it.
A lot of people feel that way about it. Both of those songs are some mid, okay? I Know What Girls Like it's just not any good, Mike.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so when I heard Sunshine, I was like, no, I could deal. And people forget that actually kind of was a lead up. He did Who You With off the Sprung soundtrack that summer.
Oh, yeah, it was on the Sprung soundtrack. I forget about that. Yeah.
I love Who You With.
I kind of like Who You With.
I like Who You With more than those 3 singles. That's for damn sure.
Oh, no, definitely. Who You With banged a lot down here, man. They got a lot of play here in Atlanta.
Right. Who You With used to be on the top 5 at 5.
Yeah.
You remember? Yeah. So he then segued in and did Sunshine. And so we went from Who You With to Sunshine. I was like, that's a drop off, but we gonna deal because you got to move units this time around. I get it.
Yeah.
Then he came up with The City Is Mine. And I was like, no, you can't. And then I Know What Girls Like came out. I was like, no, that's some trash. I'm like, well, what are you
I Know What Girls Like is bad. I don't see how that song could have been good.
What are you doing? Like, he literally just did that because it says Puffin' Lil' Kim.
For real. At that point, and for people who weren't there to experience it, anything that you put Puff, Kim, or Mace on, you could do any kind of 80s retread and people would accept it.
Right.
It's just what it is.
But it's some trash is what it was, Mike. And it's the worst. I think it's the worst single of his career.
But you know what kind of threw the balance off with that? When Big got on Diana Ross's I'm Coming Out with More Money, More Problems, everybody thought anything could work.
No, Mike, that's why I keep bringing that up about how important that song is. It's like, that song's not supposed to be that dope. That's big. That's what I'm saying.
That's I'm Coming Out.
Mike, when I talk about that song, Mike, I
Yeah.
never even talk about Puffer Mace's part. I literally just go to Big Bigpo because he's what makes that song epic and fly. No info for the
Well,
DEA.
I ain't gonna
He's
lie. I ain't gonna lie. I remember when I was a kid, I heard that song way before. I think that might have been the first song I heard from Life After Death. It was on a Clue mixtape. And I was like, yo, this song is dope before Big got on. Because Mace set it off.
mm,
Mace set it off on that record. Because I remember taping that off of a mixtape or something. And I was like, man, I got to have this. But Big, Big was icing on the cake, obviously. But
Federal agents mad because I'm flagrant. Tap myself in the phone in the basement.
saying all that to say, I liked the song before I even heard Big's verse come in, is what I'm saying.
No, I
Oh,
can
somebody
dig that.
said Hello Brooklyn is trash. It is.
It's not trash.
I don't like
It's
Hello Brooklyn at all.
yeah,
I understand what they were trying to do.
I don't understand, but okay.
That was a Beastie Boys play off of, No Sleep to Brooklyn. That's what they were trying to accomplish.
With Lil Wayne?
Mm-hmm.
Next.
Yeah, it didn't make sense, but that's what they were trying to do.
Shit don't make no sense.
Young Forever, number 1. You know what? I left this off because this is another record that I didn't like that other people seem to love. I hate that record. I'm not mad at you having that at number 1. That's a bad song. It was supposed to be. We talk about stadium flow all the time. And I think when Jay was out there touring with U2 and maybe Coldplay at the time, I know him and Chris Martin were cool. I think he was trying to have his close out stadium song, and this was an attempt at that.
Okay.
And it was bad.
Next time, don't.
So, do you want to explain why you have this song at number 1? Because I was kind of surprised that you're number 1.
It's so terrible to me on every level, Mike. I don't like the vision. I don't like the focus. And it's like, to be honest with you, and I don't think he understood this, is like, dude, you made it this far without ever even having to try to make a song like this, and you sell out stadiums and have stadium flow records. Why are you at this stage in your career when you're already in stadium flow and on stadium flow, and you have Ye, or you even attempting to make a record like this? Like, why?
Somebody said Leroy was tripping when he made this.
It's one of those moments where it shows like all his grandiose behaviors and arrogance, and then you couple it with just some really bad music making, and this is one of those things that it's like, nah, you ain't about to make songs like this and be my goat. Goats don't, like, you can't be my goat and make records like this.
You know what song I hated too, and it almost made my list? The song with Justin Timberlake. I hate that song. Holy Grail.
Holy Grail. Oh yeah. Oh,
I know I'm beating up on Magna Carta, man, but that shit is trash.
No, you should. Magna Carta's worse than Nostradamus.
No, that album is worse than Nostradamus. Was that the one you said earlier that's worse than Nostradamus?
I said Magna Carta's worse than Nostradamus. It is.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
No, it is. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Yeah,
you gotta be
it
bad.
is. It is.
You gotta be not trying.
I mean, because I have, like, in my notes, I got, like, 3 songs from that album that I didn't even put in this top 5.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's how I feel about I Am. It's like, yeah, y'all better be happy Nas is like your favorite for a favorite, and that stuff is on I Am, because there's some straight trash on there.
So Billy Barr says Holy Grail is super trash. All right, so what are some songs that we left off that y'all think that should have been on this list? We got, because Coop had Young Forever, I Know What Girls Like, Reminder, Justify My Thug, Hollywood. And I ended up putting...
No, there's some Kingdom Come, some 444 stuff that can catch some smoke. Just like there's some... Mike, I was going through that Untitled album. I was like, oh, you want to know what Nas is really great at? That's why I was like, don't give him a pass on that intellectual stuff. He intellectually gets by on a lot of songs where it's like, oh, that was just good enough to get you by. And that's why I don't give him no pass on that stuff. The whole Untitled album is like that, Mike, where you run down the songs, and it's like, well, the song ain't really bad because intellectually he's taking it somewhere and doing something. I'll give you an example of it. Y'all My Niggas on the Untitled album. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the record, the beat itself, and him is not super dope, but conceptually where he's taking it is so dope. It's like, no, I'm going to let that ride. He does that a lot.
Well, I will say this. The number 1 that I got for Jay, that what they gonna do with Sean Paul, his verse on there is hard. Well, the opening verse is horrible. I don't even know if I've ever made it to the second verse. Where he's like,
Are you
"Who
serious?
with me? I got banana clips. I got a zoo with me." I hate that. So I don't think I've ever made it to the second verse. If I have made it to the second verse, it's been a very long time. And I think a lot of the songs that I chose, he just sounds horrible on. There's not even some. You know what? The best rapping he did on the songs that I picked, shit, might be Reminder. That's crazy.
It's pretty sad.
I need a Picasa in mi casa. I'm a hasa. Nah, and I understand what he was trying to do, but again, like we said, the Nas thing, execution is everything.
So let's even go to that. When you're talking about him on Picasso, baby, well, Mike, that's the same thing inflection-wise that he's doing on that third verse of I Love the Dough. Except for on I Love the Dough, he's immaculate with it. Miraculous.
Yeah.
Pocket stay full. Niggas skip the ball because we mad at those. Snatch the P89s that we pack in the drawers and we clap the doors of your Acura. Snap like cameras on amateurs. Make you all dance, hold a hammer to yours. Bigger jig, rock, ice, no cracks or flaws. Everybody got a part to play. Back to yours. Run up in your crib now. Crack your doors. Once the real players live. It's a habit to floss. That's when he's pulling that shit off well.
Yeah. Execution is everything. TJ says Best of Both World albums were not good either. You know what? LP says Jay's verse on High Remix is the worst. It was his worst verse. That was a bad verse. You know, what they used to do, and I'm sure my New York people or East Coast people in the chat can contest to this, but East Coast rappers would get on down South rappers shit and just spit some bullshit. And that's what Jay did on the High Remix. And Nori did that shit on Project Pat's album. When he came in there, what was that, on Getty Green? I forgot the name of the song. He was just in there, what? Like he wasn't even trying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They didn't respect Southern MCs as lyricists. So I think, yeah, Jay not only dialed the high thing in, but he didn't even try. But he tried to do that on Oh Boy, allegedly, and Cam said, this ain't making the remix. So
next. We're gonna shit in on me.
So there's been like this whole viral thing where people are talking about their favorite MCs, best MCs, greatest MCs, and all that. And we did a list. I want to go through yours. I want to go through mine. We posted it on the community section. I know some people were saying your list was better than mine, but
I didn't go.
I'm out the box.
I didn't see, when I put mine in the chat, I literally didn't see anything else after that because, it'll move off your homepage after a while.
Yeah.
So, like, literally, when I posted mine, that was all, like, I really saw about it,
Well, let's get your list up here, man, for the people who didn't see it. This is what Coop said. Coop said greatest rapper of all time is Nas. Coop's favorite rapper of all time is Nas. Favorite current rapper, Conway the Machine. That's a good one. Favorite female rapper, Foxy Brown. Favorite rap group.
Hold on, can we stop for a second at the Foxy thing? Because I think that's what I've been hearing the most about. People like, Coop, I thought you loved Light. I thought you loved Lauren and as an MC. And what about Rhapsody from Carolina? But Mike, when I thought about it and I had to think about that one, she's the one that excites me when I hear her rap because I don't know what she's going to do. Like, that's why she's my favorite. I don't know what to expect next from her. Like, if Light's coming, I kind of know what to expect. And she probably is the one I'm most nostalgic about. Lauren is clearly the best. Rhapsody's from my hometown. But anytime Foxy steps into the mic, that's the one that I want to hear because she's the one that first took my breath away with that I Shot Your remix first.
Foxy has some very special appearances, and she gets on the grimy shit and sounds so great on the grimy shit.
She crushes the dudes on the grimy shit sometimes, Mike. Bang, bang, bang with CNN, remember? That was the response to the Quiet Storm.
Yo, she got at Kim on Bang Bang.
She got at her.
Yeah,
Mike,
for people who haven't heard Bang Bang by CNN, yeah,
Mike,
man, go check that verse out.
Mike, how about this? The Quiet Storm remix wasn't about to get it popping in the streets. The Bang Bang song where Way Foxy was talking, that's the stuff that had it in the streets.
Nah, I feel you. Okay, so Foxy. Then you got favorite rap group, Wu-Tang. It's Wu-Tang forever. Favorite trap rapper, Jeezy. Favorite rapper under 30, Lil Baby. We want to explain the Lil Baby thing because they were giving you heat about that.
Yeah. I know they were giving me heat about it. I'm from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like I was raised in Charlotte and in Atlanta, so it's like I don't hear the other guys' stuff like the way that y'all do. And to be quite honest with you, and it's like I know a lot of people put like Joey Badass down, including you.
I did, yes.
Okay, when's Joey's last album come out?
It's been a minute. But, I
Okay,
guess I was taking that as rapper, right?
no, Mike. All I'm saying is like, and I'm gonna keep on saying this. Like, we have this thing in this business where we deify people who don't work a lot. I put the rapper on there who's under 30, who I hear the most work from. That's dope too.
Okay.
Like I love Joey. Is Joey a better MC than Lil Baby? Yeah. When Joey's last album come out again, Mike? How many verses we got from Joey in the last 3 years? How many verses have we got from Joey Badass?
The recent Joey Badass record is pretty dope.
Mike, but that's not answering my question really. How many verses have we really gotten from Fam the last 3 years? Because he's still in his 20s. So it's like, so when you're picking him, it's like, well, I can't pick somebody like that, even though he's inherently better, that hasn't put in the work against somebody who's talented, who I hear everywhere, who's made hit singles, got Grammy nominations, who can actually rap himself, collabs with other artists very well, collabs with artists in the city, has a name for himself. Like Lil Baby checks a lot of boxes. So it's like, you can give me smoke, but you know
a lot of my personal favorites from, I guess, that generation or this current generation or previous generation turned 30 this year. So I think Quavo turned 30. Travis turned 30.
Hold on. Isn't Savage 30 now too?
Is Savage 30? I don't think he's 30. I personally like Savage more than Lil Baby, but I don't like Savage as much as I used to. Yeah.
Glock on my lap off Gunna's album is my shit though.
Oh yeah. I mean, but even when him and Metro get together, it's magic. Okay, so favorite storytelling lyricist, you got Slick Rick. Most underrated, you got Cool G Rap. Most overrated, Eminem. Favorite producer, RZA. I was gonna say RZA, but I changed. Favorite rap album of all time, Illmatic. Favorite rap song, The World Is Yours.
Yeah, go ahead.
What were you gonna say? Okay.
I thought about making a award tour. My favorite rap song, but The World Is Yours is probably like I thought about this too. Like, so many other people know me and know how much I love that record. Because if you knew me around a certain time in my life, there's no chance that you were around me and you didn't hear that record a lot. You know? And so that's why I chose that.
Whose world is this? All right. Favorite live group, Outkast.
Yeah.
Over the Roots. I'm surprised at you.
You want to know why?
You're a big Roots fan.
No. You want to know why I picked them as my favorite live group? Because I can't pick them as my favorite group because that's not fair to Wu-Tang Clan and what Wu-Tang Clan has done and continue to do. And also, too, they give a great live show, and I know I'm going to get to see the Roots again. And I actually wanted to give the group that actually made me want to start rapping more than anybody else some shine. And I was thinking, too, but think about this, Mike. You know, I really put they were my favorite live group because the last time I seen them was live, and I think it's probably the last time that I'm going to see them.
Oh, Man says D Smoke, Rex Life, Taj, Moray, all over Lil Baby. Cool. You don't think we're gonna see another Outkast performance ever again?
No.
Why?
Say that again. Who are those rappers? Mike, how many Andre 3000 diatribes are you and I gonna have to do separate and collectively before we realize that shit probably ain't gonna happen?
Well, somebody, I think under that post about Kendrick's absence or whatever, they were saying that I continuously troll Kendrick, Andre, and Eminem. This is what I will say. This is what I'm gonna say. Andre's never coming out with a solo rap album. Kendrick's done. I hate to say it like that, but it is what it is. We gotta face realities. And Eminem hasn't made a dope album in over 20 years now. And so, it's just, those are just facts of the matter. And honestly, the best music that Eminem's made in his career doesn't match the best hip-hop records that were made ever. So, I mean, he didn't even match what Dre was doing or Snoop was doing at their height, quality-wise.
Mike, When was that At Last concert that they did here in Atlanta? I had
That was
tickets to the
2014.
Mike. It's
That was
already
8 years ago.
It's already been 8 years since that moment happened, Mike. We are even further removed from them even making an actual song that we can digest, that we know that we made together. Mike, this shit over.
It's over.
It's over.
And that's fine.
So I guess part of my favorite live group thing was the nostalgia of seeing them like for the last time, because it was live, and I wasn't about to put them ahead of Wu-Tang.
But I feel like you were rewarding them for being absent.
It said favorite live group, not best live group.
Okay. That's fair.
If they would have said best, I would have put the Roots down. They said favorite.
Best rapper that can sing, Lauryn Hill.
Mike, that's not even a conversation. It shouldn't be. Like, I see all of y'all putting down CeeLo and Andre. Like,
I put
she's
CeeLo.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I just want to let
everybody know. Again, and it's about
better lyricists and singers.
And then we want to be real, man, and we want to talk about awarding people who actually put in work and who, have displayed their versatility over the years. I feel like, too, when we talk about being that nucleus in a group, she wasn't really doing a lot of that singing, rapping stuff on Blending on Reality in that way successfully. CeeLo showed people how you could do this thing on Soul Food. CeeLo showed you how you could be the cornerstone MC and handle all the hooks. I remember my homeboy was saying when he first heard the song Soul Food, he's like, he didn't even realize that person was in the group. He thought they went outside the group to get that hook.
No, I will say what CeeLo did on Soul Food. First of all, let's shout out Organized Noise for setting him up for success.
Of course.
So, with that being said,
one of their best production jobs, in my opinion.
Yes. So CeeLo would probably be my second choice after Lauryn. But here's just what I tell you. She's a better MC and she's a better singer. I couldn't put her. If he would have been better than her at one of those things, I could probably give him the nod about the work. But at the fact that he's not better than her at either one of those things, actually, Mike, I just couldn't do it. He's not a better lyricist and he's not a better singer.
I think that she's a better. I think that she has a better voice. He might be a better singer on a technical level. That's debatable, whatever. But as far as on a rap level, I don't think they're that far apart, man.
Not that far apart.
And we talk about the output and some of CeeLo's highest highs. I think CeeLo, honestly, if we keep it all the way a buck, he ain't far from Andre. And in many points, if we really want to examine the situation, he got some verses that Andre can't touch. Decisions from that Muggs album, Andre don't have a lot of verses that touches that. Lauryn either.
So, Mike, first of all, you went to Decisions, which in my opinion is CeeLo's best verse. Okay?
It would probably be Andre's too if he had that.
Mike, you want to know how I feel about CeeLo's verse on Decisions? That is one of the 25 greatest verses of all time. Okay?
He has that in him.
So I'm not saying that he doesn't.
Who has the best verse on Get Up, Get Out?
That's Mike.
It's CeeLo.
No, I give that to CeeLo. No, I'm not saying that. Like I said, if I was picking, I would put him over Andre in that category. But here's what I do remember. I remember Soul Food coming out in 1995, and I remember The Score coming out in 1996.
Yeah.
In 1996, and listen to what I'm about to say, I think Soul Food's a better album than The Score, actually. And I'm not saying that with bias. I think song for song, Soul Food's better than The Score. Song for song.
It is, actually.
Right. But Mike, don't get the mic performance fucked up. Lauryn Hill in 1996 was in competition and argument to be the best MC in this game. CeeLo's never been that.
I think CeeLo is a better MC on Still Standing, actually. I mean, if we want to be honest. But
I mean, if you want to say that, the guy that's on Still Standing or Soul Food's not fucking with that chick on The Score. He's not. I'm sorry.
I don't know if it's as clear cut as you think it is, but I will say this.
Like, you're talking about his moments. I'm talking about like who she just is on the mic. Like she can get on the mic and I don't know out rap Nas.
Well, she's one of the best rappers ever. You know what I'm saying? And I think that really, if we want to talk about her mic performance as an MC on Miseducation, that's even more impressive than The Score, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, The Score is such a coming out party. Like, Mike, that verse on How Many Mics, when she came like that, it was just like, oh, it's like,
Yeah,
that was the first time. That's the first time I heard a woman rap, and I was like, the best rapper in the game can be
I
a
think
female.
it's more. I think it's more fair to compare Soul Food to Blunted on Reality. Like we compare CeeLo
No, we
Soul
talking about
Food.
like,
No, I'm talking about Mike performance because CeeLo's straight off the block on Soul Food. He's so much more refined on Still Standing,
I don't
whereas
agree with that,
Lauren's
Mike.
more refined on the score.
Mike, I don't agree with that because Soul Assassins came out before Still Standing and after Soul Food. So like he was great. Goodie Bag, Mike. Goodie Bag on Soul Food. No, he's great on Goodie. He's just not Lauren on the
Yeah.
mic. I mean, there's nothing wrong with saying that people lyrically are not Lauren Hill on the mic.
No,
There's
all
nothing
I'm
wrong with
saying is because look, we're looking at Lauren, Dre, and him, right? I
more or
think
less.
most people would say Dre, Lauren, CeeLo in that order, right?
Well, they got it
But
backwards.
they're all in a similar stratosphere. It's not
Yes.
like CeeLo's so far off from them. My
Right.
thing is based on the work that he's put in this game in relation to those two, I have to put him over them.
No, if you're talking about the work, I'll
Talking
give it.
about Lady Killer, we talking about the stuff he's done with Nas Barkley.
I get what you're saying, and Mike, and listen to what I'm saying. If I thought that he was better than her at either one of those things, I would put in the head about his work. I don't consider him to be better at either one. And so I'm not about to put somebody that I don't consider to be better at either one of those things. It's like if you're asking me to go get a verse from somebody, it's like you can get a verse from Lauren or you can go get a verse from CeeLo. Where are you going? Going to get a verse from Lauren. You can go get a hook from CeeLo. You can go get a hook from Lauren. Where are you going? Going to Lauren. And that's
You think
it.
you think Lauren's Nobody verse on King's Disease 2 is better than CeeLo's verse on Earth Gang's Power?
Yes,
Okay.
I do. Yes, I do.
Do you think it's far off? Do you think if somebody said CeeLo's verse is better, it's a ridiculous statement?
No, I don't think it's a ridiculous statement. I would tell you it's about a half step below what Lauren did on Nobody.
Okay.
As in, there's a difference between making a top 20 verse in a year and making a verse that should be or probably will be and can be verse of the year. Sans Nas coming out with Magic on Christmas Eve. She had the verse of the year literally for the entire year up until Christmas Eve.
Okay.
Yeah, like I've seen CeeLo, like Decisions is his best verse. I would still.
It's an incredible verse.
I would still, and Mike, this is what I'm saying. And she's so brilliant. Like, she probably doesn't have anything very few MCs have a verse bar for bar that matches up with that verse. The relentless realism, regardless, represents skills I quest, manifest, and possess as heaven sent. Right? You're talking about that one, right?
Meant to the fullest extent, no nonsense, because my conscience wouldn't be content with just a little wealth or a little fame, but your mind frame would keep you living the same. And it's a shame that niggas would settle for the ghetto. Hoes with some clothes and they making what you suppose. Got your eyes closed on what your contract shows. And fine print, they got to get back every cent you spent. You content, cuz you do what everybody does. The industry didn't change you from the person you was. Listen, man, Hip Hop Head 10 says Mike be at Andre 3000. Listen, man, at the end of the day, CeeLo is the most talented MC to ever come out of the city of Atlanta.
Well, listen to what I'm saying. So this goes back to that thing that I used to, and we've talked about this on prior shows a long time ago, about how one of my favorite bars from Jizza is his verse on High as Wu-Tang Get. Yeah. Too many songs, weak rhymes is mad long, make it brief, son, half short, twice strong. So what he's spending a minute and a half doing on Decisions, she does in about 45, 50 seconds on how many mics.
He's building up a story, though.
No, I get it.
That's different.
My mind makes incisions in your anatomy, and I back this with Deuteronomy or Leviticus. God made this word. You can't get with this sweet like licorice, dangerous like syphilis.
Yeah. How many mics do we rep on a daily? Shout out to Gio with the super chat.
She's just as potent as he is, Mike, and it's shorter and brief and stylistically beyond him.
Gio says, gentlemen, with all due respect, you can't have a hip-hop list and not include Big Punisher. To brush over Pun is disrespectful. Nasir Jones admitted changing his verse on John Blaze. I mean, Pun's great. What do you think we should have put Pun? Like, in what section here? Best underground group, DITC.
Hold on, Mike. For hardest verse, we could have went Dream Shatterer. For hardest verse, could have went Dream Shatterer, so that's maybe where he could have fit in. Yeah.
Best underground group, you got DITC. That's a dope one. That's a dope pick.
I tried to think of something that nobody was really going to think about.
Best underground rapper, most deaf. What do we see that kind of threw me off? Like, what do we consider to be an underground rapper per se?
Mike, hold that thought. That's why I have some Black Star comments, but we're going to leave that right there because Talib made a comment saying most deaf don't like the industry. You don't say. We're about to find out. No. That's the comment.
Okay, best radio freestyle, Black Thought. Best DJ in a group, Primo. You know what? I went a different area. I went Jazzy Jeff.
That's cool. I like the Jazzy Jeff pick, actually. Answer's Preem.
Because he's a DJ. Now, Preem's a better producer.
So
I'm not saying Preem's not, but when we talk about, ripping up the turntables and scratching and mixing, Jazzy Jeff is the best in the business.
I'm about to say, is anybody better than Jeff at that?
I don't think so.
Right. So I get you, though.
No, but I feel where you were coming from. I was just thinking in a different way. I wasn't even thinking about Gangstar like that. Best feature rapper, the Notorious B.I.G. That's a great answer, actually.
He is, Mike.
He is. He might be. Because we sit here, we were talking about his features. He could do a versus pretty much with his features, even with his short life.
Mike, this was
even the Supercat shit is a feature.
Mike, this was the easiest choice to make. We're like, oh, that's Biggie Smalls next.
Yeah, because that total, man, that's a problem.
Like 112, R. Kelly, Shaq.
Yeah.
How you want it?
His weakest verse might have been with Michael Jackson. Shout out to the L Web with the super chat. Hold on, let me get to this super chat. Because the chat's moving so fast. Y'all are so engaging with this. He said, for me, I put Cuban Link as the most underrated. He's up there lyrically with Pun, in my opinion. That's interesting, man, because I remember back in the day, we had that Terror Squad album. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting here listening to Cuban Link and Armageddon. I'm like, man, these guys can rap.
They can rap.
They can really rap. The thing that separates the two, though, is they don't have the records that Pun had. Now, if we heard those freestyles where it would be like Pun and Cuban Link going back and forth or whatnot, Cuban Link can hang with Pun, bar for bar. But when it came to making songs or whatever, that was kind of the separator.
Yeah.
Okay. So, metaphysical lyricist. Wasn't sure what that meant exactly, but you put Rakim.
No, I know what that meant. That meant the science, the math.
Okay, I got you. Okay, I wasn't sure if they were coming from. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's definitely Rakim. He ushered that in the game.
Yeah, follow the leader.
Yeah. Jay Short with the super chat. He said, "There's a time in the '90s where your album was automatically specific. Suspect if it didn't have a Primo beat. Yeah, that's real. You weren't considered a lyricist if you didn't have a Primo beat on your shit.
Yeah. If you were coming out the East Coast and Primo didn't have a joint on there, it's like, why? You got a bad relationship?
Yeah, that was credibility. The Truest says Twista, the best featured rapper, period. So, I will say this about Twista and Bone. Whenever they did feature on something, they changed the color of everything.
Changing the color doesn't mean it's a classic, though. But I hear you.
I mean, I will say this about Biggie and his features, man. Like, I went for a change in the color pick. And we're going to get to my list real quick. But yeah, I went for a change in the color pick. But you're right. Biggie, he was able to jump on your shit and make it a classic.
Immediately.
Yeah. Best battle rap song, Ether. Best album artwork, ATLiens. Hardest verse. Huh?
I said that was probably the second easiest with the ATLiens album cover.
Yeah, that was pretty easy. I picked that too.
The whole comic book thing going through it.
Well, Doggy Style is up there too. I was thinking about going the Mad Villainy route, the abstract route too. There's a lot of choices out there, but ATLiens stuck out in my mind. Hardest verse, Shook Ones Part 2, Prodigy's verse. Best mixtape, Trap or Die 2. Best hip hop beat, Microphone Fiend. That's interesting. Best lyrical song, I Gave You Power, / Lyrics of Fury with a tie. Album that stayed in your CD player the longest, Southern Playalistic. That stayed in mine a long time too. Album that stayed in your car tape player the longest. Liquid Sword / Do or Die.
I
Great
bought
choice.
those the same day. Those were the first 2 tapes I ever bought, Mike. I bought them the same day. They stayed in the tape deck. I would listen to one and then take the other one out and listen to the other. Take one
Liquid
out and listen.
Swords was trending on Twitter yesterday for some reason. And
I love it.
we posted it on the Twitter and, wanted to get people's favorite songs from it. You said your favorite song was
Killer Hills
Killer Hill.
104.
Yeah.
Mike, that's one of the best hip hop stories of all time that nobody ever talks about.
Mad Max says that Jada is by far the best featured rapper. I'm not mad at that.
That's a good choice, but it's not as
choice.
classic as Biggie shit.
Jada sounds great on everything. I was surprised by your Killer Hill pick. And then you went Shadowboxing and Fourth Chamber. I was listening to Liquid Swords last night, man. Fourth Chamber and Shadowboxing are crazy.
It's next level. First of all, Fourth Chamber, Shadowboxing, and Killer Hills 10304 all in order. That's track 7, 8, 9.
Yeah,
and that's the moment where that album goes from extremely great to all-time classic is in those 3 records. And part of why I like Killer Hills 10304 and I put it by itself and I put it at number 1. Well, he got all kinds of help on Shadowboxing. He has Method Man at his all-time very best on Shadowboxing. He has Ghost coming out at his all-time best on Fourth Chamber, one of RZA's best verses on Fourth Chamber as well. Yeah. Mike, Killer Hills 10304 is just RZA and Jizza. Restaurants on a steakhouse, so order the food to take out. Chaos outside the Spark Steakhouse. Maintain the power. I feel the deal's gone sour. Nigga missed the wedding. Late a fucking half hour. Like, he just sets the scene so beautifully. And after you hear Fourth Chamber and Shadowboxing, you realize how great he is. The fact that it's like those 2 records just played, and this guy can go tell a story by himself that is just the great or equivalent to those guys song-wise what they just did. And that's why it's the best song on Liquid Sword. It's his solo.
Well, I'm a Shadowboxing proponent. And I'm a Ghostface guy. But I must admit, man, Killer Priest's verse on Fourth Chamber sticks out to me. That I judge wisely. It's just nothing never surprised me. Lounging between 2 pillars of ivory. I'm lively. Shit is crazy. Like the approach.
In Greece, my poems are deep.
Jeez. Yo, that might be one of the most lyrical songs ever, man. And
the way RZA ends it, he ends it with another acronym. Protons, electrons always cause explosions.
And then Jizza just comes in there on some smooth shit. Shout out to Chelsea with the super chat, said, no diss song is greater than Hit 'Em Up. I never was a huge Hit 'Em Up fan. I like Hit 'Em Up, and I remember when Pac was going off at the end, that was always a big thing. But the other thing that stood out to me yesterday when listening to Liquid Swords, I realized as much as I love the first verse on Shadowboxing, I actually like the last verse even more.
You've been saying that for a long time. I still don't agree with you at all.
I don't even know if I agree with myself. Both of them are like next level high verses, man. But when he came in there, the mind started clicking. It's just the way he came in that shit, man. Like,
so Mike,
I don't give a cop picking fuck about a nigga trying to size a nigga up. I hold my own. A hard hat protect the dome. Look at mama baby boy acting like he grown. No time for sleep. I get deep as a baritone. Killer bee, they be holding down his honeycomb. Lounging, son. Woo brother number 1. Protect your neck. Flying guillotines. Here they come. It's like he's like bouncing with this thing. Hard times and killer tactics.
Speak my words, set my automatic slurs. Peep the graphic. Novel from the bean bottle.
It's crazy.
Full throttle. Time to bungee. To the next episode. I keep bungee.
Hand on my nutsack, and spit and lunging. No matter what, that don't understand the fact when it comes to the tracks. I don't know how to act. Real rap from the stat. Killer Hill projects, how to be exact. It's like, whoa. Whoa.
And that's where All In Together now comes from. So two whole songs got spanned from his 2 verses. You Know My Steez by Gangstar and All In Together by Limp Bizkit. That's Shadowboxing.
It's insane. And
I'm not gonna argue with you. And I'm going to tell you why I prefer
Jizza verse is fire too. Somebody said that.
Jizza verse is fire too. No, it's one of the best rap songs ever.
Yeah.
It really is. It's really like those 3 songs to me are some of the best rap songs like ever, period. Those 3 songs right there. But here's what I'll say, and I prefer the first verse, and here's why. The vernacular used is slightly better to me. Like delivery-wise, flow-wise, no, it's all equal. But there's something about when he says, I breaks it. Like, nobody ever talked like that before. No. I breaks it down to the bone gristle.
Yeah. It gets your attention right away.
Ill-speaking scud missile heat sinking Johnny Blazing night like Wes Craven. Niggas gunning, my third eye seen it coming before it happened. And then he paused. You know about the fucking.
It's one of the best features ever. It's one of the best features ever.
Form of fashion.
Now everybody talking about they blast.
They blasting. Mike, nobody ever done that.
Is you flashing?
Talking out your asshole. Better learn about the flow and peasy afro.
Dude, I don't know. Chinky eyes, snot nose. From my naps, put a bunion on my big toe. I keeps it moving.
Yeah.
I don't know. Shout out to Jay Short. He says Snoop Dogg on the feature becomes a centerpiece. Yeah, Snoop Dogg is another one.
And you want to know what it is, Mike? It's when he goes, you know my steams. Like, he's pausing all over that beat in a way that nobody really had ever done before that I'd heard. This is 1995.
Bouncing, was like, you know my steams.
You was on a track record. It's like, I didn't know niggas could rap like that on a beat like that.
I never heard nothing like it, to be perfect.
I never heard nothing like it. Yeah, never heard nothing like it. Delivery, timing-wise, the way he was pausing, stopping, picking the words up, funneling the words together. I was like, what? Method Man. The Method Man.
The Method Man. All right, well, here was my list real quick. Greatest rapper of all time, Nas. My favorite rapper of all time, Q-Tip.
I was surprised you didn't put that.
It was between that and Ghost. Huh?
Okay. I'm surprised you went Ghost right there and then Q-Tip for producer. That's what I was expecting.
Nah, Q-Tip's my favorite all around because he can do it all. You know, from being the front man to being great producer to being, pretty much coming up with the graphic art for Tribe, just the overall creator.
Yeah.
I'm partial to the creators. Favorite current rapper, Pusha T. Favorite female rapper, Rod Digger. Yeah. Rod Digger still to this day has my favorite female rap album.
I'll say you're a Dirty Harriet fan.
Dirty Harriet is great. I want to listen to it now. Favorite rap group, Wu-Tang. Favorite trap rapper, Project Pack. Does that count?
I think it does, Mike. And when you said that, when you put that down, I was like, that's a very nice play, a nice pull. Mr. Dump.
Yeah. That shit is hard as fuck.
It don't get no more trap than Mr. Don't Play.
Nah, man, that shit is crazy. Everything's moving. Favorite rapper under 30, I went Joey Badass. But a lot of that's on potential, and you're right. Favorite storytelling lyricist, I went Ghostface. Most underrated, I think CL Smooth. And I think that CL Smooth is one of those guys that he's one of the few people who's made one of the greatest rap records ever and never is in these conversations.
You're right. That's fair.
Yeah.
No, you're right. He's the author of one of the greatest rap records ever, and he never gets mentioned. You're right.
Yeah. Most overrated, Eminem. That speaks for itself. Favorite producer. This has changed recently. I'm going Kanye, man, for all the reasons that we lined out before, where it's like not many people are able to get the best out of people who are no longer new artists. Mm-hmm. It's easier to mold a new artist. We've seen that from Dr. Dre. His successes come mostly with new artists. But when you get to a point where you're a Rakim or a Busta Rhymes or whatever, it's not much that Dre can do for you. Kanye has shown us that he can do this for either a Big Sean, a Common Sense. Shoot, even when we talk about John Legend, even though that's not hip-hop, Pusha T, himself, Jay-Z. Hey. So, yeah, I got to give credit where credit's due there. So I would say Kanye West. Favorite rap album about... go ahead.
No, I want to pause you right quick right there. Sorry to cut you short on your list. I know we need to wrap up because we've been live for about 3 hours.
Yeah, we're going on 3. Go ahead.
Here's what I'm going to quibble with you about. Do you feel like Kanye's 3 to 5 biggest hip-hop contributions exceed Q-Tip's 3 to 5 greatest hip-hop contributions?
I think they do. He brought them into the next generation, and I think that Kanye has been able to do something that most hip hop producers haven't been able to do, and that's successfully update their sound and where they mean something sonically to different generations.
Now, here's where I am going to give you some Ye, possibly greatest producer of all time stuff. I don't think any other all-time great producer has updated their formula the way that he has. Like those beats on Daytona, I was like, that's Ye?
Right.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, if you say so, he can do anything.
He's
all right,
great at it, man. And you know, and I feel like Pharrell is still searching for the updated version of what they're trying to do. You know what I mean?
No, I feel that way about Timbaland. I feel that way about Primo. I feel that way about RZA. I feel that way about Drake to a degree.
Even if we look at Just Blaze, and I know Kanye said what he said in the Drink Champs, but Just Blaze is doing a podcast now. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's like, yo, you Just Blaze. You made some of Jay's most notable material. When's the last updated Just Blaze flow we've gotten? I mean, it's not an easy thing to do. But Kanye seems to do it seamlessly. And you know, it looks like Alchemist has found his niche. You know, like you said, RZA hadn't really updated his thing either. So it's like Kanye's kind of in no man's land when it comes to this. And people go to Premiere for the classic tracks.
I mean, all jokes aside, like DJ Premier needs to be happy that he had Big Nas and Jay. RZA needs to be happy that he had Meth Ray and Ghost.
Yeah.
Dre needs to be happy that he had Snoop.
Yeah.
Those guys are the only thing that's keeping that guy from being clearly number one all time. Got it?
No, that's real. No,
that's real. That's real. That's real.
Okay. Favorite rap song, Welcome to the Terror Dome by Public Enemy. And then follow that up with favorite live group, Public Enemy. Best rapper that can sing, CeeLo. I think we went over that earlier. Best underground group. It's a group called Woodgrain that was out of Atlanta that never got a deal. Best underground rapper, Elzai.
It was your group, Mike. Woodgrain is your group.
I was half of that Woodgrain group. Best radio freestyle, Black Thought. Best DJ in a rap group, DJ Jazzy Jeff. Best featured rapper, I went Future.
No. Okay, so check this out. My cousin down in Noonan, Mark, Mark's like, yo, cuz, thanks for putting Future, putting my boy up on the list. I was like, that was Mike's list. He just started laughing. But yeah.
I mean, Future changes the color of everything, man. People, it's amazing how many features this guy's done, number one. And it's like they all sound like his song.
So that would be the thing is that like when he features sometimes, I'm not certain if it's his song or if he's featuring, but that's actually a really good choice for best feature artist. And if we were going like modern day times with it, I would be picking, like when I thought about that, I was like, I know I picked Biggie, but I'd be totally happy with that Future choice from if somebody from this time or 10 years younger than me picks Future or like Cuz does. It's like, no, I'm okay with that because Future feature game is crazy.
Crazy.
Mike, way too sexy.
Yeah.
Go see Way Too Sexy last year. He made that song.
Yeah. I mean, listen, man, he's been making hits for Drake for the past 3 years. We talk about D4L. That's him and Thug, right? And even if we talk about Life is Good, Drake needs the quote-unquote biggest hit maker in the game needs Future to make a hit. Let's be real.
That's what I'm saying. So, yeah. No, so I like the Future pull by you. That was good.
Yeah, see, I got Elzai and Future, man. I'm all over the place.
What?
Metaphysical lyricist, I guess I took that wrong. I went Lupe Fiasco. I think I'm going to go Rakim. Yeah, I'm going Rakim.
If you pick Lupe, he would be, for me, the obvious second choice, but the answer is Rakim.
Yeah. Best battle rap song, I said No Vaseline. There's a lot of different ways you can go there, but I went No Vaseline.
I love No Vaseline.
No Vaseline dismantled the world's most dangerous group.
Well, they weren't the world's most dangerous group. They needed the best rapper in the world at the time, and that was Ice Cube. Best rapper in the world, 1990, 1991, Ice Cube. He's solo. So
best album artwork, ATLians. We both got the same answer on that. Hardest rap verse, man. I went Holocaust verse on Silkworm. No, yeah, it was called Silkworm. Holocaust, aka War Cloud. Yeah. That verse is super hard.
We talked
Falling
about
down
that.
an endless tunnel of doom reality. Graphically, my killer bee family sings to galaxy insanity, titanium stomach devouring Guinness. My flesh is solid stone despite my outer appearance. Man, that verse is mean. All right. We could even go. What do you think about Cannabis's Beast from the East verse?
That came to my mind. It did. It sincerely came to my mind. Dream Shatterer came to my mind. That's why when dude mentioned pun, I thought about that Dream Shatterer verse too. But Mike, there's just no replacing I Got You Stuck off the realness.
No. I ain't mad at your pick. Your pick's crazy.
Third was official Queensbridge Murderers. The mob comes.
Yeah, I used to look forward to that song coming on in the mix.
We all like everybody know what time it is when that, Mike. That's not. Look, that's not to make people dance.
Best mixtape, man, Down with the King. And I want to explain that, and that's T.I.'s mixtape when he was going at Flip. I really feel like that was the first Gangsta Grill. I could be wrong. But I feel like that Down with the King mixtape really made Gangsta Grill and drama a thing. And Tip was going crazy on that mixtape. To me, I mean, at this point, at this stage, that's still my favorite T.I. project. Because everything that we know T.I. to be, he was doing on that record. On that mixtape, rather. He was talking shit in the interludes, talking shit at the end of the songs, and he was rapping his ass off, man.
So here's what I will tell you, and I think it's funny. We both, and there is some bias to our picks, Mike, because you picked Down with the King and I picked Trap or Die too. So how you kind of feel about Tip's performance, like part of why Trap or Die 2, and I know people prefer Trap or Die 1. He's such a better rapper and better song maker on Trap or Die 2, and it still got the same feel. The features, the Plies feature on Lose My Mind, the epic Pusha T and Malice feature on Illin. He's got personal stuff on there like Go Hard, but I feel the same way about Down with the King. I just felt like he became a better rapper after Down with the King, and that's why I don't have it.
Did he? I don't know. So. I don't know, man. On 106 in Park, I can see the hate in your heart on the squad.
Mixtape. See, he's in mixtape mode, rapping his ass off. That don't always translate to album. I love the way he translated. See, Down with the King. I know you still think it's his best project, Mike. It's not better than Trap Music or King.
It's not better. It's not better. It's my favorite.
Right. Yeah. But what I'm trying to tell you is that Trap or Die 2. No, Trap or Die 2 is better than almost all the shit Jeezy released.
Well, yeah, Jeezy's mixtapes are better than his albums.
Well, I'm saying, Mike, when people ask me what my favorite Jeezy albums are, I go Trap or Die 2 and Trap or Die. They be like, what about the release stuff? I say Trap or Die 2 and Trap or Die.
Well, you got those over Thug Motivation 101 because people think very highly of that. And it's interesting, man. We put out a post a couple of days ago, and I think it was Trap House by Gucci. It was Thug Motivation 101. I want to say Trap Music was in there. And it was another album that was in there. But anyway, everybody overwhelmingly picked Thug Motivation 101 over Trap Music. And I'm like, wow. Damn, people saying T.I.'s music aged like milk. Is that what y'all think of T.I.? Y'all doing this because he's doing stand-up comedy now?
The high moments on Trap Music are better than the high moments on 101. 101 might be a better player beginning to end. And T.I. is on 101. Bang is actually one of the better moments on 101. And T.I.'s verse is one of the reasons. He's actually the real steam stealer on that song. What I would tell you about Jeezy's catalog, you go Trap or Die 2, Trap or Die 1, 101, The Recession, and then 103.
AKs and Curtain says History by Sci-Hi. You talking about Black History Project.
Ooh, yes.
That's a great mixtape.
I was thinking, Mike, you know what else came to mind too? You know how I feel about Push and the Re-Up Gang, guys. I was thinking Re-Up Gang Volume 1 and 2.
Yeah. Re-Up Gang shit was crazy. Yeah. That Cry Now record.
50 Cent Is the Future came to mind.
Yeah.
Yo,
Cry Now by the Re-Up Gang is one of my favorite rap songs of all time.
Actually, Mike,
them niggas went crazy on there.
No, you're right, Mike. That's one of their 10 best songs.
Yo, them niggas went crazy on there. All 4 verses. Yeah. Pusha starting it off, and Malice on Clean Up, Sandman, and Ab Lava. Crazy.
Ab Lava's ill. So is Sandman, but Ab Lava, man.
Best hip hop beat. I went When They Reminisce Over You. Trouble T. Roy.
That's I think that's like the obvious pick of that that selection. I think that's probably going to be the beat that gets picked the most. And who made that beat, by the way?
Pete Rock.
Okay,
You had some of his production on your list too.
believe that.
Best lyrical song, I went Tryon.
That's cool.
And
Can't
you
argue
know
with
the
that.
reason why is just how many songs do we get in hip hop where you got 9 lyricists spitting to
Right.
that level? I don't think there is one where you got a verse like Inspector's verse starting it off, and then you got somebody like Method Man rapping to the level that he did with the second verse.
So when
There
you say
is no
that,
low point. What the lowest point I will admit on Triumph, Master Killer's verse, but it's still a dope verse.
so here's what I would submit to you. You say Triumph is the most lyrical song ever. And when you say that, I get what you're saying because you're talking about them 9 in full. Because lyrically, it's better than Protect Your Neck, which is the other song. And it's better than
Yeah.
The Jump Off. Those are the other 2 records where it's like all of them together. But what I would submit to you is that isn't something like Guillotine off the Purple Tape better
Thought about
lyrically than Triumph?
Guillotine. I thought about
I thought
Guillotine.
about Guillotine. I thought
That
about
was the
Guillotine.
first one that came to mind, to be perfectly honest.
Right, because I've always said this, Mike. After Deck and Meth's verse lyrically, there's a drop off. Oh, Guillotine's a tour de force because Jizza ends it like the nigga don't get mad. I got mad styles of my own and it's shown when my own hands grip the chrome microphone.
I don't know who has the best verse on Guillotine.
That's why Guillotine's probably a better choice than Triumph to me because it's like a literal argument because the first verse is the verse that catches people's attention, but by the time you get to the last verse, you're like, hey, that might be the best verse.
Yeah.
And then you got Ray and Ghost in between, Mike, Deck and Jizza.
Yeah.
That's funny, Mike. Those
People in the chat are saying we're making them think that Pusha T is top 5. We're making a top 5 case for Push. Hey man, Push has a great career. Has had a great career, and is still having a great career.
Top 10. That's what I'm saying. He's already top 10-ish or approaching that stratosphere.
That's why we're looking forward to this album because this is going to tell us a lot.
Yeah, he's already he's in Redman, Jada Kiss, like all those guys' territory. Ice Cube, like he's in that realm, in that sphere. Yeah.
We just mentioned Fourth Chamber. You think that Guillotine is more lyrical than Fourth Chamber?
It is.
Okay.
Poisonous Paragraph, Smash the Phonograph, and have to be the Inspector Deck on a warpath. That's stronger than everything on Fourth Chamber.
I don't know about that. Well,
it is, Mike. Poisonous Paragraph, Smash the Phonograph, and have to be the Inspector Deck on a warpath. Show me 2 bars on Fourth Chamber like that. That's 2 bars.
Album that stayed in your car CD player the longest, Akumina.
Yay.
Album that stayed in your car tape deck the longest, East 1999 by Bone Thugs and Harmony. I was trying to rewind and learn all those words and all that stuff.
I was going to ask you how that ended up being that choice, even though I love that album, but that makes total sense.
Yeah, just trying to, that was like my introduction into memorizing rap verses. And, and yeah, I started with the most difficult one. So everything else was a breeze.
Mike, Liquid Swords and Do or Die were mine. I remember writing down the verses to Shadowboxing when I first heard it because I didn't understand what the hell they were doing. I was like, I don't know how to rap like that. I don't know how they're rapping like that.
When I heard Method Man on Shadowboxing, I knew that I wanted to be involved in hip hop in some way, shape, or form.
He was so excited. It was like crazy.
Yeah, shit was crazy. It was next level, man. I guess we got to get up out of here in a second. We're going on 3 hours.
We need to get up out of here.
Yeah, we got to get out of. All right, last thing before we go. What did you think about the comment that somebody made? Somebody said, we live in a world where DJ Khaled gets a Hollywood star before DJ Premier. And then someone said Cool Herc, too.
It's called the Walk of Fame. Fame. Famous. Not famous, fame.
I don't know, man. It's like, and no disrespect to Khaled, I don't quite understand. It kind of, how do I say this without sounding like a hater or whatever? It's not really clear-cut qualifications of what these stars are for. Because at first, when you go to LA, because you lived out there, for a second. When you go out to LA and you see these stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, you're thinking like movie stars. And, maybe some musicians who are just big crossover musicians in stars in that way. I think everybody was crowded around Michael Jackson's star. But I don't really understand. I don't think everybody has a clear cut
Can I tell you something?
notion of what Khaled actually does.
Right.
That's the biggest thing. Because somebody just said this in the comments. Said, what does DJ Khaled actually do?
No, Mike, you posed this question. We've had whole shows about this. Still don't quite have the answer. But here's what I tell you, and this is what I mean about making our own rules. This is one of those. This is one of those white pop culture things that you know that our community is kind of indoctrinated into, and it really doesn't mean a whole lot. It just personally, from personal experience, Mike. I mean, Hollywood, Sunset, Melrose. Like, you know how they make it look all nice and stuff, like when they're doing all this? Man, pull up on those same, man, pull up at night. You know, it's not even, smelling like piss, prostitution, get your ass robbed at the gas station around the corner. If you're not careful, it goes down right there.
But you're immortalized in the soil. And I think that
that's what I'm saying. Immortalized as what? And for what? Like Mike, because I mean, I'm gonna tell you, the average person when they're walking that strip during the day, ain't nobody looking down. Like, you walk down and be like, oh, I just walked over Bruce Springsteen. Whoop de fucking do. Like,
right. Well, all right, the people in hip hop who have one. It was what, 50 got one. Yeah. Queen Latifah got one some years back. Will Smith, I'm sure has one. Dr. Dre got one. Big Boy just recently got one. Big Boy, radio DJ out there in LA, legend. Ice Cube has one. LL Cool J just recently got one not too long ago. And it's like, I don't really see Khaled in the mix of that. And I could see if it was one thing where, you know, Khaled was, you know, doing film and stuff like that on some, you know, sprawling your palette out. But we don't even, when it comes to a Khaled album, we don't even know what he's producing, what he's putting together. I still don't know what DJ Khaled does. I've never seen him spin. I don't think that, I'm sure he can. I've just never seen it. Like, it's interesting. It's interesting. And I'm not trying to throw no shade or anything like that, but I think a lot of people are baffled with why.
He did used to be a real, like, live DJ down in Miami. That happened.
Oh, yeah, no. His pirate radio station and all that was on some real hip-hop shit, which was dope.
Right.
But the thing is, what the mass public knows him for isn't any of that stuff, you know?
No, that too is fair, but let's not make it seem like he just showed up and did nothing this whole time.
He been here.
Yeah,
I just wish that, you know, and I'm sure he's a gifted producer too. I guess what they call a curator, or what, you know what I'm saying, West Side Gun be talking about, you know, when he puts together his records, like Khaled knows what people to put on what. And what producers to get for that? I don't know.
Right. I mean, you know.
They said Dr. Dre does not have one. I thought Dr. Dre did. I could be wrong.
No, I thought he did too.
Okay, well, if those people don't have it, and the people who were with Khaled, you know, it was Jay and Fat Joe and Diddy, if they don't have it, I guess they don't care. I don't know.
Right. It's not. But that's what I'm saying, Mike. Like, this isn't that big of a deal. This was like a big deal in the 80s. Like, you know, like if you were like Bette Midler or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't.
So the Hollywood Walk of Fame stars is washed up at this point. It really don't even matter.
I mean, no bullshit aside. Like, the streets are dirty. The shops are old. Like, for real. There's like real prostitution going on up there. Niggas really be getting robbed at the gas station. Like, Mike, I used to live up there. I spent one of my birthdays up there, like, chilling. The Pac's last performance, I know
what you're talking about. Shit, somebody in the chat help us.
Actually, myself, like, it going down right there.
Yeah.
Blues.
Yeah. The shit. What is wrong? This is what happens when you're live. You forget House of Blues. That's it. Yeah, somebody said it too. Yeah, Air Pegasus. Shout out to you.
So it's like you'll be on Hollywood Boulevard, and then you'll bust a left, and that'll be Melrose, and Melrose will take you right down to Sunset. But that's all block shit still, even though it's like, yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, all the dudes, like, Yeah, they be out there.
All right, man. Well,
It's
this
just
is coming Friday. We're going to get together and we're going to have Jar from Rap Roundtable, who was talking a whole bunch of stuff in the chat. We're going to get him on the show and we're going to talk some hip hop. We might have a Pusha T album. Who knows? And I want to hear some of his perspective on the fact that he think that all of this promotion for this album is some stalling tactics. So, we could probably do like a little wrap up of what, hip hop has been like in 2022 so far and kind of pull those two worlds together. Appreciate you getting the yearbook, Leroy Green. Leroy Green said he just got the yearbook. You will not be disappointed, man. We got you in there, Leroy Green. And shout out to everybody who got the yearbook. We definitely want to know what y'all think about it. You can click the link that should be at the top of the chat. Order it from Amazon. It'll be at your door next day, or if you got Amazon Prime, whatever.
Leroy ordered a book, huh?
Yeah, Leroy ordered the book, man. We appreciate that, Leroy. We appreciate everybody who went out there and ordered it. Like I said, let us know what you think about it.
That's literally the Fed's taking pictures, Mike. That is the Fed taking pictures.
We got to figure out if Leroy is Jigga, if he's Memphis, Ty. We're going to get to the bottom of it.
If he's Jay, I need him to support and buy 500 copies right now.
Nah.
You want to support black business?
Got to do that, Jay.
You talking about black business on your record like that? You want to support this black business, then Leroy? Tell your boy. Tell your boy.
Jigga ain't got to get 500. Just get one.
So do Nas. All you dudes with money. All you dudes with money be talking this anti-establishment stuff. Come support this black business and buy a bunch of copies.
There it is. We appreciate y'all, and we're going to holler at y'all Friday.
Peace.